maybe this time for real? For real? Maybe? Okay. Now I'm getting levels. Pull this up to like, oh wait, we can pull this all the way up. There we go. That's why. I just had super low audio levels. There's the problem. Uh, welcome to... Well, first off, welcome back. It's been a long time. I don't have anything to say for myself. It's just been a long time. I've been busy. I was in Chicago for like a week, or a little over a week actually. I was there for like 8 days, for work, and you couldn't really stream from there. I want to try to figure out if a way to stream while I'm away, because I'm gonna have more travel coming up in a little while. But you know, well, I didn't stream myself. I did play Goose Goose Duck with the Saturday crew for a bit. Managed to sneak in for some of that, which was nice. Today though, first off, I'm gonna go get some water because I'm gonna need it today. Mostly just because it's gonna be a long day. Well, I'm gonna stream some now, and then I'm gonna stream some probably more later too, tonight. So, gonna need to stay hydrated. I'll be right back. Also, then people have time to join. Okay. Fresh hydration stationed at my desk. Where the hell are my headphones? Here they are. Okay. So, now that we're back, now that I've had like one of probably the most scuffed starts I could ever really have to the start of a thing. Hello, Grimbo the Beast. Welcome. We're playing Sunlight Scream, which I kept calling Starlight Scream, which I guess isn't technically an inaccurate name because I mean the sun is a star, but it's a visual novel that is appropriate for Spooky Month, and that's about all I know. It's Spooky Month. I'm super excited for Spooky Month. It's been, for one thing, Spooky Month marks a year since I started streaming. Yay! Woo! I don't have confetti I can trigger, but yay! Wait, can I trigger? No, I don't have a way to do it. Oh well. But it's been like a year since I started streaming, so I don't know what exactly day was. I started with Luigi's Mansion back last October, because you know it's a good Spooky Month game, and now here we are. I'm trying to get more, trying to do more Spooky Month stuff, which can be a bit. It's tough for me to figure out Spooky Month stuff to do, just because like I'm not great at it. Frankly, I'm really bad with spooky things usually, and so there's a limit on what I can play and be entertaining with. So, oh hey, Willetto, welcome. Yeah, that's right. I forgot League. I'll do it. I'll have to see. I'll have to install it and get set up for League, but I can brave it, I guess. While I'm talking, I'm also trying to fix one of the newer redeems that I realized I never actually fixed, which is also distracting me slightly. I think I've almost got it. There we go. All set. Cool. So, anyways, Yeah, it's honestly, I feel like the scariest thing for League is just the people it's the rest of the people playing it. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the game, but before I do, it is Spooky Month, and I feel like I should change into something a little more appropriate, you know. So I put a lot of work into this, and it's not quite done yet, but it's good enough where I can show it. But ooh, are you scared yet? That's all I got. Uh, I I'm prepared for Spooky Month. Uh, the uh, I'm not. I was about to apologize for scaring you, but I'm not sorry. It was by design. Um, I spent a lot. I spent a good amount of time. This took longer than it seems like it might have, to do, just because I had to like retexture everything. Uh, but then I also I'm having issues right now. I redesigned Harold for this too, and I made him more appropriate. Uh, but he's still a work in progress, so he's not currently here at the moment. But he will be once I get the textures on him to start working, right? I just spilled water all over myself. Good job, me. All right. Well, without further stalling, let's get into the game. Pounding of the train wheels slowed rhythmically, and the green landscape outside the window gradually changed to an urban jungle. Awakening from the lulling trance of their eye, I moved to the opposite seat and glanced eagerly out the window. Yeah, he's getting his hair done. This is a visual novel, I believe. So there's gonna be a lot of dialogue. Fortunately, I have no traveling companions, and I spent the entire trip in a half slumber, immersed in thinking about the future, which was rapidly flowing into the present. I impatiently thumbed through the newspapers lying on the table. The hardest part's gonna be me reading things for it, because I feel like I should, at least for like most things. Parents beat up daughter for becoming a doctor instead of an actor. The city's mayor passed away from a heart attack. Re-election will be held next week. The annual fall festival is postponed due to the abnormal heat. It's been pretty warm here too. A government lab in downtown Sunlight City was abruptly shut down for following sensational discoveries. A serial maniac named The Judge has been spotted on the streets of the city again. All right, Sunlight City. The news I deserve. So much for a quiet, peaceful town. That's exactly how my brother described it, based on our rare online correspondence. A boring backwater town where nothing happens. In fact, I'm even glad to be back in my hometown, if it weren't for the conditions of my move. This could have been me. I almost had to go back to my hometown for conditions that I didn't want. We lived here as a whole family growing up, with my mom, dad, and brother Chris. Then my parents had a falling out over something, and my mom and I had to move to LA 8 years ago. No matter how hard it was to part with my brother and father, I managed to get used to the big city and join the school community. I finished my studies and was about to go to university. But now another disaster has happened. My mom was in a car accident and passed away. I simply don't have the money to rent a place, so Chris came to the rescue. He and my father were doing well in business here, and my brother kindly invited me back to Sunlight City. I haven't played Rin. I don't know if people live or die. I haven't played it yet. I'm just saying everyone probably lives, right? It's a spooky visual novel. Of course everybody lives. He's even willing to give me a separate apartment. And I'm going back to my roots, even if not in the most pleasant conditions. I applied and was accepted to the university, which Chris kindly paid for. Sorry, I'm also a little, what's the word? Dyslexic. I'm gonna do my best to read all this, but I will struggle. Reading is hard. But I didn't have much choice in the matter. Chris and I had always gotten along since we were kids. And even from a distance, we kept in touch. I'm terrible at keeping in touch with my family. I try. Outside the window, the platform with the railroad station was already floating, and the final station Sunlight City popped up on the scoreboard. that 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 horn jump scared me. I wasn't expecting it. And here I am. Well, hello, old friend. Despite the fact that there were quite a few passengers in the car, a small queue formed at the exit. I rose lazily from my seat, stretching off my stiff legs. Picking up my backpack, which was crammed full of my few personal belongings, I slung it behind my back and stalked toward the exit. Oh, okay. I thought I thought you meant because you were referring to my title for this, where everybody lives. When I got to the station, I was immediately blinded by the sun. I hate the sun. It's a sunny city for a reason. I hid in the Okay. I just had to reread that again. My voice is low? Alright, actually, I just can't see. Ever since I moved, I've had, like, issues. I feel like one of my XLRs maybe got damaged or something. Let me, bump up the me. How's that? Is that a little better? Ow. I got pipes somewhere in there. Hopefully that's a little better. And not distorted. It's a sunny city for it's a sunny city for it's a sunny city for a reason. I hid in the shade of the awning and looked around the station. Ow. There were passengers and greeters darting back and forth. Ow. Though there wasn't much of a crowd, I strode back to the platform looking for my brother. Cool. I'm glad it sounds better. I need to do something about my setup, because there's something weird happening somewhere in it, but the levels don't look right on the mixer, and I'm always worried it's gonna come through horribly distorted. We had to make a quick appointment to meet him somewhere on the exit, and I wrote him the number of the carriage, but I didn't see anyone like Chris at the station. I don't think we're gonna miss each other. Maybe he forgot, or is he late? I stared hard at the faces of the people, trying to catch familiar features. Yeah, sure, I hadn't seen Chris in 8 years, but he had plenty of pictures on social media. I should recognize my brother. Psst, hey you, yes you. I know you're waiting for this amazing story to continue. So I'm only going to take a moment. I'm only going to take a minute of your time, maybe even less. See that battery icon in the corner? It'll only appear during the choices. A nearly dead battery is an unimportant choice, and it'll have almost no effect on the plot, except for some scenes. A half-charged battery is an average choice. It will determine an important decision now or in the future, perhaps even deciding the fate of one of the heroes. A fully charged battery is an extremely important choice. It will inevitably or after a while lead to the death of one hero or the rescue of another. And lastly, a little life hack. In order to remove the entire interface, perhaps to create screenshots, just click on the mouse wheel. That's it. This is my goodbye. We'll probably never see each other again. Yeah, sure, I hadn't seen Chris but I should recognize him. Let's wait for Chris. I decided to wait in place a little longer. I didn't want to get lost even if I went looking for him and he was for me. A little hidden from the noise of the crowd, I pulled out my cell phone and started dialing, but I didn't have time. I was pulled back by a familiar voice. Hey Max! Oh my god, it's really you! A guy in that wasn't what I was expecting. Just that wasn't what I was expecting from the guy. That's all. A guy in a stylish black jacket emerged from the crowd and waved at me. Chris Hardy looked exactly as I expected. Despite our difference of only a few years, my brother looked a lot taller and older. His hair was slicked back in an uneven comb, but beneath the mask of this serious young man was the most good-natured man I ever known. The mere sight of him made me smile involuntarily. That's a word. That's a word that's hard to say. That's a hard word to say. Words are hard. I waved back and hurried toward him. Chris, it's so good to finally see you. He held out his hand to say hello. Yeah, he sure is stylish. Normally I would just reach out and say hello. Except they gave me the option to do a Drake and Josh, hug me, brother! So, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. That was a terrible impression I did of them saying hug me, brother from Drake and Josh. I don't really know what I was going for there, but you get the idea. Instead of shaking my hand, I felt a rush of emotion and unexpected rescue. I stepped forward and hugged my brother. Don't worry, I'll make sure Chris lives, probably, maybe. He's definitely going to be one of my priorities. I won't choose to kill him over someone else, given the choice. Even though we haven't seen each other for a long time, we actively communicated by correspondence. And even though fate has separated us, he is still dear to me. Chris, seemingly not expecting such a greeting, patted me on the back confusedly. Didn't see you on the platform, so I went for a walk to see if you were somewhere else. Brother, it's been a long time. Sorry, I didn't expect traffic at this time. When I arrived, I guessed that you wouldn't stand still and would go looking for adventure. Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, he sure does. We like hug him and he's like, alright, well, thanks for coming. See you later. I smiled in relief. Although the town is small and crime is not so bad here, but caution can't hurt. He regarded me curiously, smiling full mouth. You've grown a lot, I'll give you that. Chris glanced behind me, trying to see my luggage. Don't tell me that's all you brought with you. He grinned, pointing to my backpack over my shoulders. It's like you're not moving to another city, you're here for a picnic. Not that there wasn't a lot of stuff in there, but my backpack wasn't very big. So I had to tamp down some of it. And some of it wasn't necessary at all. Well, anyway, yeah, I got all the essentials. I don't have a lot of stuff, you know. I shrugged. I have a lot of stuff. Moving was a pain in the ass for me. I can't travel light. I can travel light, but I can't move lightly. Well, the sooner you get settled in. We walked to his parked car in the lot. I threw my backpack in the back seat and we hit the road. The town looked cozy enough, but it was much more built up than I remembered as a child. It stood on coastal land and was actually surrounded by forests and small mountains. I grew up surrounded by trees. And mountains, really. Many one-story buildings on the outskirts were replaced by familiar high-rises closer to the center. There were very few people on the streets. At this time, people were either studying or working. The breeze blew through the windows from the fast driving. Thank you so much. I didn't expect your message at all. I mean, I didn't expect you to invite me back and everything. I don't even know how to thank you. He looks so done with us. We just got here. He's thinking about that hug again. He's like just done with us. Chris smiled, but then frowned. No problem, bro. It's all good. I got some bad news too, though. You too? What's the matter? My father, he had an accident. Anyway, he's gone too. What? God, Chris, I'm so sorry. What exactly happened? Why didn't you say something to me before? I wanted to tell you, but you had this happen recently with your mom. I didn't want to add to your poor state of mind, so I decided to hold off. I didn't know how you'd react. Maybe you'd change your mind about moving at all. Maybe you'd change your mind about moving at all? I didn't want that. That read weird. I don't know all the details, but I've been told. But all I've been told is that when he was coming home late, he was attacked by robbers and stabbed. That's awful. You said it was a quiet, peaceful town. Did the police say that? Did they manage to catch this criminal? Yes, I was informed the next day. The killer was never found. He left no trace. My father and I haven't had much contact since my mother and I left when I was a child. My mom had forbidden it, partly because of some old grudges, and then I'd forgotten all about it. But it must have been a big blow to Chris. I hope they solve this case. Are you okay? Yeah, we haven't been hanging out too much lately. I was more worried about your reaction, to be honest. I didn't know how to say it. I mean, we haven't really talked much since then. I think it might have been one of his business rivals. He was selling real estate, and things were going well. We had no problems with money, but that's just my speculation. The police wouldn't even listen to me. Thanks to him, we have an extra apartment where we're going now. Well, hang in there. I'm happy with any option. We drove up to one of the high-rise buildings. My brother handed me the keys and told me the apartment number. Aren't you coming? We could sit and have tea. I can't right now. I have to go on business. You get settled in. You have to go to university tomorrow, so you better get ready for your studies. It's never easy to join a new team, but Max, we will definitely celebrate your arrival. I have a lot of work now. Maybe the day after tomorrow, and tomorrow I can drive you to the university entrance in the morning, so you'll remember the way. Sounds great. Thanks for everything. Thank you for everything. I have your number if you need it. Of course, if you need anything, call me. I got out of the car and said goodbye to my brother. Taking the elevator, I walked into my new apartment. I have to say, I was expecting a lot less. It was already comfortably furnished, it had 2 spacious rooms, and was even better than the one my mother and I had rented in Los Angeles. It's September 2022. It's 10:50. Wait, it's 2:50. Yeah, that's the time. I feel like I remember learning somewhere that most like commercials and like games and stuff in general use 2:50 as like a default time. They either use 2:50 or they use 10:10, you know, which would just be flipping the hour and the minute hands. So that's just a neat thing. I have to say, I was expecting blah blah. I quickly unpacked my stuff, unloaded the most important thing, my laptop. I checked the website of Sunlight City University. It keeps messing me up saying Sunlight City because I want to say Starlight City. I feel like Starlight sounds better. Which is where I was transferring to. It looks old-fashioned, but I don't have much to choose from. For the rest of the day, I decided to walk around the city, and at the same time, store for necessities at the store. Store for necessities at the store. That's a weird phrase. Despite the fact that fall was already in full swing, it was warm outside. I took a leisurely stroll, familiarizing myself with the city's surroundings, and thinking about the upcoming events and listening to light music on my headphones. In the evening, I went to a supermarket and picked up a whole basket of groceries. I'm not very good at cooking, so I bought some ready-to-cook food so I wouldn't have to suffer too much. But an unpleasant surprise awaited me at the checkout. The payment from my card stubbornly refused to go through. Life didn't prepare me for this, and I forgot to bring cash with me, and helplessly tried to tap and swipe the card from different angles. How long are you going to keep digging around? People are waiting! Pay up or get out! I was astonished at the insolence. The girl behind me glared angrily at me. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble paying here. No one cares. People are waiting here. You can't pay, the exit is that way. Even though there was no one else in line behind me but her, it became very embarrassing. The saleswoman was sympathetically silent, and then allowed me to leave everything in the basket, come back later when I sorted out the card. It sure is. Now that's scary. I stormed out of the store. I hadn't been so ashamed in a long time. I got home after dark. I had to call Chris, who said it was probably some kind of mix-up with the different banks, and he would give me a working card with the balance tomorrow morning. So, without much thought, I set my alarm clock and went to bed. For tomorrow, Chris picked me up as promised and drove me to the university. I also got a new card from him, and some cash, just in case. We agreed to meet tomorrow after school to go out for pizza at a local restaurant to celebrate the reunion. He wished me good luck and left on business. It's we specifically live in 250, I guess. The university's brick building could be whoops. Go back. Undo. The university's brick building could be seen from afar, the entrance lined with neat trees and bushes. Need a little water. I looked at the time. There was still 15 minutes to spare, but I had to find the right classroom. Don't worry, it's 2:50. You got time. I went to the principal's office, signed some papers, and got my locker keys. Then I went looking for it. Locker? There were a lot of people inside. Guys bustling around, chatting, walking the hallways. Here's my locker. Almost approaching my locker, I suddenly felt the ground go out from under my feet, and I almost fell, crashing into it. A grinning huge guy next to me. He was wearing a tight black t-shirt that apparently didn't fit him, and long red shorts. I didn't immediately realize what happened. He cackled in a bass voice, and only then did I realize it was a footstep. "Look where you're going! You're not on your feet at all!" The guy muttered, with a sneer in his eyes as he leaned against my locker. "Who the hell are you? I've never seen you before." Yeah, he is wide. I want to be a dick to this guy. "I'm a person who buys clothes by size," I replied, not thinking about the fact that this jock was much bigger than me. I tried to keep a cool head, although everything was boiling inside. I just arrived on my first day and there were already some attacks. "Did you say something? I couldn't hear you. Say it louder." The jock dumbfounded, and the laughter in his eye turned to anger. He stepped closer to me, staring down at me. A crowd was already gathering around us, but no one dared to intervene. But he wasn't going to beat me here in front of everyone, was he? Once I start, I have to go all the way. "So you have a hearing problem in addition to style?" Yeah, I thought we were in college too. I feel like they're saying that just because they wanted to make the characters, they wanted to make you not feel bad about having feelings for characters in this, maybe. But it seems like it's high school. I'm new here, actually. You can give me a tour if you want. The jock roughly took me up by the pecs and stamped me into the locker. It didn't hurt. I only felt a slight pressure. The door made a sharp metallic sound from the impact. "Here's your locker. Tour's over. I'm Grant. Remember that name, new guy. This conversation isn't over." What the hell kind of face is that? Is he hitting on me? He looks like he's hitting on me here. Growled my assailant, stepping back and walking off in another direction. Well, that's a good start to the day. Finally opened my locker and threw my things in there. Yeah, right? I think he's hitting on me. "What do we have for class? We're supposed to have math class now. It's only a few minutes before it starts, so we better find the right cabinet." And then I realized that I had no idea where I could find it. The university website seemed to have it on it, but I forgot to take a look at it, of course. Oh great, what am I gonna do? What should I do? Let's ask someone. That can't go poorly. I'll just ask someone. That's the quickest way. There'll probably be someone more adequate. And no sooner had I stepped away from the lockers, as if... Sorry, just the background noise of these people is like a little distracting. As if to answer my thoughts, a blonde guy called out to me. Yeah, it was a half battery one. So I kind of figured like asking around would introduce me to a new character. He was about my height, with fairly long disheveled hair and kind of light blue eyes. "That was awesome, dude!" Are you talking to me? "Do you see anyone else here who can beat Grant that badly? I don't." Of course, to put him down like that, and in front of an audience, he'll remember it for you, of course. But it was worth it. Did you see his face? I'd help you, but I've got my own issues with him. "Can I shake your hand?" "Oh, I've been talking too much. My name's Leon Edwards. You're the new guy, I take it, right?" One of them was like to search for the classroom with Wi-Fi, and the other one was to like look for signs or something. "Yeah, I'm Max. Nice to meet you. You're the first person here besides my brother. You're the first sane person here since my brother, or besides my brother. I haven't had much luck so far." "Your brother? What's your last name?" "Hardy. Why?" I don't remember anyone with that name. What group is he in?" "Oh, you misunderstand. He graduated a long time ago. I meant all over town. I just moved here." Oh, the one for Grant, I think, was a quarter battery. It wasn't a big one big battery. That's why I felt perfectly fine insulting him. "Even like this, you're welcome, Max Hardy." "Well, you're welcome." Even like this. "Well, you're welcome, Max Hardy. By the way, what class are you in?" "Math. I was just on my way to ask someone where the classroom is right now, because I'm not very attentive." The interesting wording there. "Them Hardy boys I guess we are the Hardy Boys. See, we can't be in college though, because like if I was in college, if someone was like, "Oh, what class are you on your way to?" I wouldn't just be like, "I'm on my way to math class." Leon rounded his eyes. Fuck me, Vector. So you're the new guy. Where the hell did that come from? I didn't realize, but it all makes sense now. Our Mr. Johnson told me we were getting a new student. He's a great man, by the way. Too bad the studying is boring. Let's go together. It's not far. He's definitely hitting on me. We went down the corridor. Leon talked a lot, but somehow he was easy to get along with. We just met a few minutes ago, but there's no tension. I usually have trouble getting along with people. Though, maybe it was just the need for some company. Don't pay much attention to Grant. He's like that with everyone, especially newcomers. He bullies everyone as if it gives him a brain. But if you ignore him and stay out of his way, he's just an ordinary bully. So you're saying he's also in your group? No, Max, in our group. Wonderful. We quickly reached the right cabinet, but it was... when he says cabinet, does he mean room? It's true. I've never heard that term used. But it feels like he's got to be using it for the room. It was quite crowded inside. Almost all the seats were already occupied. The classroom was small, and usually there were 2 seat desks. There was an empty... Oops. I just right-clicked. How do I... well, I guess let's save. And, return. Okay. Classroom was small, and unusually there were 2 seat desks. Okay, unusually is what he said. There was an empty seat next to Grant in the back rows, who was harassing the guy in front with glasses. You know, why don't you come sit with me? I'll save you from prying eyes. Does right-clicking again help with that? It does. Well, what do you know? We sat down at a desk somewhere in the center of the classroom. Grant was apparently too busy taking homework away to notice my appearance. The teacher appeared just as the bell rang. The noise in the room instantly died down. He was a fairly young man, but by the looks of it, only about 10 years older than the students. He coughed and looked around the room, stopping on me. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to introduce our newest student, Max Hardy. He joins our group and will be studying with us this year. Afterward, he addressed me directly. You missed a little bit of class, but I think you'll catch up quickly. I nodded silently in response and slumped into my desk, feeling the scrutinizing gazes of my new classmates. And now, let's move on to the lesson. I want to warn you that tomorrow we will have a test, so I suggest you listen carefully and prepare yourself. I just got here! Class itself began. There were some rules of adding vectors, different tasks, proofs. We're in geometry! I hated geometry. I hated proofs, they sucked. It's so annoying to do. Too much, like, just too much writing. I don't want that much writing in math. Math has always been easy enough for me. But here at university, I feel like I didn't understand anything. I honestly tried to get into the essence of the teacher's words, and to give him credit, he explained lucidly and interestingly, but my thoughts just couldn't focus on my studies. Only now was I able to stop and consider my situation and future plans without rushing anywhere. The unexpected death of my mother, and, as it turned out, my father as well. Reuniting with my brother, who was kind enough to take me in and put me in a separate apartment. Meeting Grant, Leon, and a plenty of action. What's next? I guess I should concentrate on my studies and finish the year normally. And then we can think about the future. Leon brought me out of thoughts. He didn't seem to be listening much either, and was more interested in me. I can tell he's interested in me. Psst, Max, what's on your mind? Why don't you tell us why you moved in the middle of the year? I've never seen anything like it. Are you sure we should be discussing this now? I mean, he said there's some kind of test tomorrow. He got so done with... I hope everybody has a just, like, completely done with you face in this. Because, right now we're at least 2 for 2. He's kind of also done with us, the teacher. Everybody we've met pretty much has just been kind of done with us. Except for Grant. He was hitting on us. That's pretty much all he did. Come on, you can find the answers from your phone if you need to. That's true, that's how school works now. I think I can find the answers ahead of time, and I'll text them to you. If that's true, then good. But why are you sitting alone? I thought you were the popular guy. That's why I'm sitting alone. I get along with everybody, but nobody likes it when I talk too much, especially in class. It's distracting, you know? You know, the truth is, I don't really... Max, I hope you're discussing with Leon exactly the topic of our class. Can you, in that case, name what these two vectors are called in relation to each other? Mr. Johnson pointed to two parallel arrows. Leon bit his tongue and shrugged when I glanced in his direction. I shot my eyes menacingly. Who's her? Who's she? Sorry, I just hominoed for a moment there. And then when the redhead girl in the next desk covered herself with the palm of her hand and whispered to me, "Collinear." Hey, well, hey, so am I, so we can steal souls together. Collinear? That's right. And to be even more specific, co-directional. Also quietly whispered the girl. Co-directional. Good for you. It looks like you know the material after all. I hope you have a good chance at the test tomorrow, but I'm still going to ask you to sit and listen in silence. I was ready to burn with shame. The lesson continued, and Leon now sat silently, squirming guiltily in his chair. Yeah, Rin's kind of got a point there. You're really the outlier here. The red hair on my model just ain't just for show, you know. Thank you. I turned oh, look at her wing. She's so cute. I turned briefly to the girl in the next desk and whispered my thanks. She smiled back, winking her big green eyes. I sat in silence for the rest of the lesson, trying to grasp at least the rest of the material. Leon, apparently, felt guilty too, and didn't bother me. The class ended even too quickly, and now all the students were packing up and leaving the classroom. It's okay, so I have a theory about redheads. With the theory of what's it called? It's not relativity. It's I'm trying to think of a good name. I guess like gravitation, the gravitational theory of redheads, where redheads like have a tendency to kind of like to gravitate towards each other and like bunch up. So you don't see them individually too often. Usually we show up in packs. You see, like you get a bunch of us at once, and I think it's because there's some like unknown like external force that causes us to gravitate together. If you've ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you know, one of the things they say in there is like the stand users have a tendency to like gravitate towards each other. They have they just end up around each other due to whatever nonsense. Redheads are kind of the same way, where we just kind of all converge on each other. So you end up getting, if you get when you have one redhead, there's more to follow. Like, you don't really just get one. Anyways, that's today's lesson on redheads. I hope it was educational for you. I decided to thank my red-headed roommate for bailing me out and walked over to her desk while she was still there. Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for the tip. The girl gave me a friendly smile. Come on, it's nothing. Or you can consider yourself indebted if you want. And they were roommates. Indebted? Sure, I'd be happy to help in any way I can. Yeah, she does look a lot like your model, Rin. She does look a lot like you. Her hair's just like more orange instead of like red. Haha, relax, I'm kidding. If there's an opportunity to help a good guy, why not do it? What makes you think I'm... Thanks anyway. Oh, I forgot. I'm Max. Yeah, I know. The girl giggled mischievously again. You know, I mean, we just... Oh, the teacher said it right. Did he say my name? I see Leon's got some people talking. Yeah, he can do that. Anyway, nice to meet you, Max. I'm the Slayer. The Slayer? Are you kidding me again? Is that a name? It's actually my nickname. I wonder who the killer could be. No, I don't think it's her, but it'd be really funny. We're about to learn what she's the Slayer of. Maybe. Are you a role player or something? No, I haven't tried that yet, admittedly. Just a nickname in games, social media. Ah, she's a gamer girl. And should I call you by your nickname too? I won't say no, but if you're curious about my name, you can call me Sarah. Okay, Sarah the Slayer. What you're saying, Willendo, is it could be anyone. Haha! Sorry. Haha! You're a fast learner. Good for you. Well, I'm off. See you later. All right. Well, she's the one I want to protect. You know, if she's the killer, I'm an accomplice then. Well, what else would I introduce myself at work as? Of course I introduce myself as Hammer Mage. That's my name. You know? It just that's what I did when I started the job. Put it on the application. First name Hammer, last name Mage. Well, I was trying to think of a middle name joke, but there's not really one to do there. You know, like how Sonic the Hedgehog's middle name is the. Well, that's definitely the second nice person here. Despite her teasing, you can feel the same easy energy from her as you can from Leon. Just as I was about to leave the room, I was stopped by a teacher. Max, come here for a second. I just now noticed that there was a set of chess on his desk. He must have loved the game a lot, or there must be some sort of tutorial on learning the principles of math associated with them. Yeah, why did you want to see me? I won't take up much of your time, just to introduce myself and say I'm aware of your situation. My name is Nicholas Johnson, and I know about the unfavorable conditions of your transfer. Yeah. My first name is Ham, middle name is Mur, and last name is Mage. So normally I just write Ham Mage on things, but when it's important, like when I'm filling out bank stuff and I need to put my middle name in there too, then I put Mur in there. Yeah, he does look like he's done just kind of all the time, but I feel like that's most teachers, understandably so. And if you need any extra classes, help with studies, reach out and I'll help you. Oh, well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. You know what? I don't like him smiling. I liked it better when he was done with me. I hope you'll fit in quickly. You can go. I was the last to leave the classroom. I wondered how you knew the details of my transfer. The rest of the studies flew by. I was brought back to reality by a rumbling stomach, demanding immediate refueling. Demanding immediate refueling. That just repeat itself? Why did it repeat itself? Woo! I hope you're scared. I went from a wizard to a witch. Woo! Welcome, JJ. Thankfully, I had change with me now, and Leon and I headed straight for the university cafeteria. Yep, that's a university cafeteria, all right. Definitely a university. Almost all the tables were occupied, apparently. Studying awakens the appetite not only for us. I got myself some fries and steak. They got fries and steak here? Damn. How come my university? This is way better than my university. Or high school, whichever it is. And went to look for empty seats. After a minute of wandering, I spotted a distant table with a pink-haired girl sitting at it with tea and an open notebook. I stopped hesitantly. Hang on. we might have another one. Let's see. The girl clearly didn't want company, and I wasn't going to be happy to have someone sit next to me sit next to me like this. But on the other hand, there were no vacant seats anywhere, and Leon would be here soon. The prospects of waiting another half an hour did not please me, so I went to the table. Oh, hello. Hello, miss. The girl didn't notice me, staring at her notebook. I had to cough 3 times, turning up the volume each time to get her to pay attention to me. Yeah. Every seat was full. I couldn't find a single open seat. Every seat is empty. Hey, is this seat taken? All the others. You know, you know what? I like this better from the perspective of we're just trying to hit on her. She's clearly like the goody two shoes student, like the by the rules one. I love her freckles. They're very cute. I think I might actually like her more than the other one, than Sarah. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see what she's like. But I like the idea that there's actually no one in the cafeteria. We were just trying to hit on her. So we just went up and we're like, hey, is this seat taken? All the other seats are taken. And she like looks around and just sees all empty seats. That's about my level of Riz. Sorry, Ren. But you have to understand. Like, I don't have more words. I can't. There's no good answer for me here. But all I can say is just her. All right. Do you want to sit with me? Well, yes. Sit down, please. The girl lowered her gaze back to the notebook in embarrassment. Thank you. Hey, well, I mean, pink hair is just like a lightish red hair. You know, it's kind of like it's the pink hair is like the same amount of red as orange hair is. It's just, you know, instead of having like yellow mixed in there, you have white. I sat down silently and began to eat. After a while, the girl looked up at me with an effort. You're our new guy, right? You're a new guy? Oh, so you're also in my group? Also? Oh, I'm sorry. I just met some of the guys and I haven't seen you around. I'm not surprised. No one knows me. No one noticed me. No one noticed me, senpai. I feel like there's just some typing errors in this game, which is fine. It's an indie game, but oh no! But you can't... How did you get so much? But Rin, think about this. There's so many other things you could do. Think about all the other things you could do with that. Think about how you could throw things until the end of time with that. You know, which one? Why do you all have so much? Where did you get them? What are you talking about? I noticed you just now. Only when someone wants something from me. Hell, I'm sorry. I'm just talking bullshit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. My name is Max, which you probably already know. I'm concerned that you all have so many points. I didn't realize that it was... What are my costs for things? No, I know. Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'll have to figure out more like custom redeems to do for other things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. My name is Max, which you probably already know. I already said this. Samantha Moore. Moore? That's nice. Nice to meet you. The girl lowered her gaze in embarrassment. She is really into me already. Harold is in the shop right now. I was working on him. I have him made. It's just there is an issue with his texturing. And so he's not really showing up properly. I do have him. I can yeah, he's getting his hair done. I can show him, but it's not like he's not done, so that's why I haven't. I figure, you know, I'll wait till he's done. She looks like she's like already really into me. She's like she looks like she's very horny. Ow. What are you reading? It's probably just notes. It's probably just some notes for a test tomorrow. Not reading, writing. Or rather, I'm trying to. Did it not work because you don't have enough points, or did it not work because something doesn't work with it? Are things working? Okay, things are working. Good. I had to do a test real quick. Wow, what do you write? If it's no secret. Well, generally by genre, it's a psychological and a bit more of a romantic thriller. A group of people are taken to a deserted island on a personal invitation and find... Wow, what a change of like tone here with the music and everything. Taken to a deserted island on a personal invitation and find they can't get back out of it. Gradually, the characters start dying and people guess that it's one of them doing it. But in order for them to figure out the right person, they need to understand the intent of the one who invited them all to the island. Wow, listen, that sounds really interesting. What happens next? The girl smiled genuinely for the first time. You'll find out later. Maybe. The story's not finished yet, so it could be anything. I'd like to hear the continuation. Everybody, I feel like, is foreshadowing that they could be the killer. I can tell you a little more, though. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little less attracted to her. Suddenly, the main character felt a cold liana wrapped around his neck from behind. Or was it the snake? I froze, waiting for it to continue, when something cold began to wrap around my neck. What the fuck? I shuddered and almost fell down with the chair, with a woman laughing loudly from behind me. Sarah, what are you doing? I'm starting to understand why you're called the Slayer. What if I have a heart attack? Samantha only giggled softly. I gave her a judgmental look, but then laughed. Then I laughed. I wish I could have seen your face. That's hilarious. I see you've been spending a lot of time here. I see you've already become acquainted. Sarah unceremoniously sat down and began to nibble on her salad. I'm sorry, Max, but that was really funny. That's my boy. What a weird... What? Some of the writing in this is just a little, like... interesting, I guess is a term for it. It's not bad. It feels like it could be just worded a little better, or just like kind of weirdly weird to like. I wish this game was voiced. I think it would help a lot more if it was voiced. Oh, for sure. I'm sure someone young made it. I just wish the game was like voiced, which I know is like hard to do and expensive and whatnot. But like I think it would help just because like the tone, I think for the tone for some of these things, because it's hard like getting the tone going to read it, which I guess is the case for most games like this too. That's my boy. Only his first day at uni, and he's already hitting on the coolest girls. Leon also hopped up with his food and took the last available seat. Yeah, the coolest. Just so you know, every chick is hottest for him. Don't blow it, Slayer. Max, I see you finished. Why don't you tell us why you moved in the middle of the school year? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. No, it's okay. You guys seem really cool. At the very least, I'm indebted to Samantha for her taken table, and to Slayer for her tips today. I guess we're just calling her Slayer. The whole trio stared at me intently. As a kid, I lived in Sunlight City with my brother and parents. Then my parents split up, and my mom had to move to Los Angeles with me. I went to school there until my mom died in a car accident recently. I had no money to rent a place to live. I like how only one of them really reacted to me being like, yeah, my mom died. Yeah, he is 100% saying with the outcasts. But... hey, that's... the outcasts are the interesting people at school. Not saying that just because I was, you know, one of those people. Actually, I don't really know where I fit in at school. Just because, like, I went to a small school, so like everybody knew it, who everybody was. I don't necessarily think I was like, I wouldn't consider myself an outcast because I was on pretty good, like, I was just kind of like not a noteworthy person, I think, because I think most people knew me. People knew I was like smart and like competent at a lot of things, but outside of that, like, I feel like I was just kind of like, I was more like the unnoticed person, not necessarily like an outcast, just like kind of middle ground, where it's like not popular, just nothing noteworthy. I was like the isekai not isekai, just like a harem protagonist without the harem. You know, like the boring everyday guy who's like nothing special whatsoever that they have as the main character of like every harem anime ever. I was like that guy, but without the harem. Just a boring regular guy. I had no money to rent a place to live, and then I was forced to move back here to my brother's place. Slayer is terrified that I had to move back with my brother. That's what bothers her. She didn't care about the car crash, but she's bothered by me having to move back with my brother. As it turned out, my father had also recently died. It was just the two of us. It's like that. I sat in silence for a while, chasing the leftover steak around my plate with my fork. Shit, man. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you had it so bad, or I would have asked. Yeah, you wouldn't wish that on an enemy. I hope everything's going well for you now. That's so fucked up. There's just no words. No, I guess there are, but I can't find them. At least you have a brother. Okay, guys, let me get this straight. You don't have to feel sorry for me here or anything. You asked about the reason I for the move? I answered. Yeah, it's bad and all, but I was able to deal with it. I don't want to burden you with it, nor do I want to relive it myself. I suddenly feel like some kind of hysteric. I turned my whole past on my new friends, and I'm freaking out about their reactions. Quite adequate, by the way. For the umpteenth time that day, I felt a pang of shame, but I'm used to it. I'm used to shame. I don't really feel shame much anymore. I do. There's like a few key things that'll get me, but for the most part, I'm pretty shameless. It's the best way to live your life, if you ask me. Not having shame frees you to do all sorts of things, you know, you wouldn't otherwise be able to, and to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy, regardless of you know, other people's reactions to it or whatnot. So I think it's a great way to really live your life. Anyways, that was just a little side snippet. Always love to stick that in somewhere whenever I get the chance. Thank you for the support. The end of lunch went quite smoothly. We all chatted about studying and the upcoming tests. As I understand it, Sarah loves computer games, movies of all kinds, TV series. You can tell from her self-proclaimed name. Samantha is much more shy in company than she was when she and I had one-on-one conversations. But from what I understand, she's all absorbed in her studies. She likes her privacy and comfort. The opposite of her is Leon. He mostly doesn't care about his studies, but he's the first to talk about everything, or throw some kind of party. What's weird is that all my new friends didn't really socialize with each other before they met me, but today we managed to have a very nice sit together. Until I saw my impatient acquaintance from yesterday again. The same guy with glasses from our group that Grant was making fun of was carrying a tray of orange juice. Man, there's this poor guy with glasses. Oh, never mind. He deserves it. Yeah, he deserves it. I understand. Until someone in the crowd shoved him. The glass flew straight into a nearby table, pouring all over the purple-haired girl's lunch. There was a silent scene for a couple of seconds. Oh, hold on. She might be a Karen, but she is hot. The girl jumped up, dodging a wet spot spreading across the table. The guy froze in a stupor when the girl shook with anger, pointing her finger at him. You little goggle-eyed bastard! I'm sorry. I unintentionally... Shut your mouth! You spilled it all over our table, you bitch! I'll wipe it all off now. The guy scrambled from side to side, looking for a rag. I bet he's the killer. Lick it! With my tongue, I took and licked it dry. What? The guy... Hold on. I feel like this with my tongue I took and licked it dry doesn't really fit there. Anyways, let's just keep going. The guy stared incomprehensibly at the shouting person on the canteen and shrank back. What are you looking at? Come on! Lick it before it's all gone! All the neighboring tables turned toward the incident and watched in silence as the events unfolded. This is the girl from the store. This is the Karen from the store. It turns out she's just a bitch in general. No one came to the rescue, and the poor man had no choice but to follow the evil tyrant's demands and bend over the table. But she was not satisfied with that. The girl took him by the neck and bent him close to the table. Hey, what the fuck? Is this normal? I don't know. I don't know if it's normal, but I'm starting to wish I spilled the orange juice. Shh, you don't want to go up against Erica. What's that from? Who the hell is she? Our unofficial queen of the course. A lady in our course, but in a parallel group. At least we're lucky she's not in ours. If you so much as look at her, she'll turn your remaining year into 7 circles of hell. And what Nate did? It's just suicide. It's a thing. Even Grant's under her thumb. If he's just a mindless bully, she's a devil in a skirt. Too bad he didn't douse her all over, though. Nate, meanwhile, obediently licked up any leftover juice on the table before getting a kick in the ass and hurrying away. Moron! The girl walked out carelessly to the other end of the table and took a seat from her neighbor, and sat down as if nothing had happened. You know, I've met her before. My friend stared at me like I was a leper. What? When? Her? No, she won't die. Why would she die? She seems like I'm sure she'll be fine, right? Yeah, it'd be terrible if she's the only survivor. Yeah, I went to the store yesterday when I got here, but I had some problems with my card and I didn't have any cash, so I had to leave everything I bought at the cash register. That cutie was right behind me, but I see now that I got off easy. Trust me, man. You better avoid that devil in the skirt. You'll be safer. It's a lot of fun. I'll give you that. What's a lot? What? Okay. Finally, lunch came to an end. We said goodbye to our newfound friends. I made my way home at a leisurely pace, admiring the surroundings and breathing in the fresh air. It had been a busy day, but I was in a good mood. At home, I finally paid for my mobile internet so that it would work without interruptions. I flipped through the study material for a while, but the letters began to quickly merge and swim in front of my eyes. It's 2:50 again! I devoted the evening to relaxing in video games. It was getting dark, and I was about to go to bed when my phone rang. I flinched at the unfamiliar sound that I'd last heard a long time ago. Who would be calling at this hour? Of my entire entourage, only Chris knew my contact at the moment. Although it could have well been spotted by someone new, having found my social networking page. Surprisingly, the caller's number was hidden. It's really funny just seeing people say like social networking page of like, just, you know, obviously they can't say like Facebook or something, but it's funny how generic it is. Usually, I don't take unfamiliar numbers considering it an advertisement, a scam, or some other kind of prank. But this time, the hidden number caught my attention, so why not? Hello? I picked up the phone after a while, but there was no answer. As I listened, I could make out a barely audible breath on the other end. I can hear you. Who is it? I was about to hang up, then I heard a hoarse, gruff voice distorted by interference. You shouldn't have come to this town. Soon, you'll pay for everything. Don't quite understand. I can't hear you well. Who is it? Don't worry. We'll meet very soon. Is this some kind of joke? Grant? Erica? First, I thought someone had gotten the wrong number, but then I immediately thought back to today, and it could very well be someone's prank. Punching into a locker and licking off the table is fine, and why wouldn't it be? I'm sick of your stupid jokes. If you have something to say it to me in person. I'm hanging up. I don't know about always the red. See, you sound like people you sound like everybody else when I'm playing Among Us or Goose Goose Duck. Oh yeah, it has to be the redhead. But it is rarely ever the redhead. I feel like statistically speaking, it's least likely to be a redhead, frankly. You hang up now, and someone you care about dies. At this point, I'm stunned. If this is a prank, it's a cruel one, even for this couple. And if it's not, what the hell are you talking about? I'm gonna call the police if you keep talking like that. Well, no one ever says it because of the redhead, but they do blame the redhead. And when they do blame the redhead, they're usually wrong for it. Good luck with that. You can stop being so nervous and stop pacing the room already. That's when I started to feel uncomfortable. I was really walking around the room without realizing it. I went to the window and drew the curtains, but he could have just guessed. Or was it another psycho from this town? Goosebumps ran down my spine, and I made my way over and sat down on the bed. What do you want from me? You'll find out soon. The stranger hung up. Even if it was someone's stupid prank, which it probably was, it still felt unpleasant. Who would want to spy on me in my own home? Who even knows where I live? On the other hand, what did he say? Stop walking? He could have just hit randomly for effect, or it could have been some kind of metaphor. Thinking about the strange midnight call and its vague message, I didn't notice myself settle into bed and fall asleep. Well, see, you can't just sell me out just because I'm a redhead. Rude. Note to self: do not play Among Us or Goose Goose Duck or play those kinds of games with Woledo. I didn't wake up until the third alarm clock. I'd gotten used to getting up this early lately. Yesterday's call got pushed back to the back burner, and the overall impression of the arrival rolled into one big snowball that rolled and enlarged on its own. I had a quick breakfast of cereal and rushed to the university, repeating formulas as I went. But I was in a hurry for nothing. It turned out that I arrived even before the time. I missed the rest of what it said before. There wasn't even anyone in the classroom yet, except Nate. The guy was sitting over his notes. I decided to cheer him up somehow after yesterday and said hello quietly. He's the one. I don't want to be the one to say it necessarily, but I'm gonna be the one to say it. He's given school shooter vibes, so I probably should be friends with him. You can't just ask someone why they're so short. They don't have control over that. Nate raised his glasses at me in amazement and looked around. With every expression on his face, he always looked somehow frightened. Apparently, he couldn't believe that someone would just turn to him like that. But no, he doesn't look like me. No. Don't say that. Don't say that after I just said what I said about him. No. I'm not short. I don't wear glasses. My eyes aren't gold. Not far. I mean, they're not far off from gold, but they're not gold. My hair's not that orange. It's a slightly different orange. No, I'm not him. I don't want to be him. Hi. Studying, huh? Yes. Hi. Well, I'm also not a school shooter. That's why I'm saying I don't want to look like him. It's because I don't want to be associated with someone who I just said looks like a school shooter. Or has, like, the vibes for it. The guy opened his mouth to ask something else, but changed his mind on the fly and fell silent. After hesitating for a moment. Oh, I got a yawn. Oh, that yawn hit hard. I am so tired after this weekend still. This week. I was in Chicago for like 8 days for work stuff. I am so exhausted. I wanted to make sure I could stream again though, because I got like, I'm streaming today, I'm going to stream later tonight, we're going to stream tomorrow, and then this week I'll probably try to find a day or two to do it at night. But sometime soon, I don't know when, I have to go to Boston for a few days. For some amount of time, I don't know how long. Could be a week again, could be shorter, I don't know. Are you gonna mock me too? What makes you think that? It's not even on my mind. Yeah, and so I want to try to get some like streaming in, but I'm tired. While I was away, I was working on trying to finish this model, get it all set, which I got it mostly done actually before I left. But I mostly was working on Harold while I was there, and obviously I couldn't get him working. Something's going weird with his texturing. It's just not working right. But anyways, what makes you think that? It's not even on my mind. Because that's what that's all everyone does. All of them? Surely your group, or rather our group, is not without good people. You're probably right, yes. But you are the first person who ever talked to me without a purpose. Usually it's either homework or to make fun of me. So don't let them treat you like that. Sometimes you just have to fight back, or the attitude won't stop. That's easy to say. Have you even seen Grant? What could I possibly have against him? Well, not everything's solved by force. Look, you have something he doesn't. Brains. You could ask someone for help. Tell Mr. Johnson as a last resort. He seems to be able to help with that. Or just bring a gun to school. If only it was as easy as you say. But thanks for the encouragement. The guy gave his first semblance of a smile. I felt even more sorry for him. Alright, well now I want to make fun of him. You're Max, yes. I remember you're the new guy here. Now I'm Nate. Right? Like, he just seems like he seems like the prime candidate right now. He has the best motive. Yeah, that's right. Nice to meet you, Nate. I'm not positive. There's also a chance... Oh, there's a typo there. There's also a chance that the killer is entirely determined based off of our decisions. Like, I'm not sure, but I thought I remember seeing that that might be the case where, like, we might choose who the killer ends up being by like what we do throughout the game. So, you know, we could drive him to being the school shooter, possibly. His hair's I don't know if I should argue for his hair, like argue that his hair is red, you know, because it's orange, or if I should not, because I don't want that stereotype. As we chatted, TH classroom gradually filled with people. Soon Samantha, Sarah, and closer to the bell, Leon showed up. But as it turned out, because of the test today, everyone was seated one at a time. Apparently half the group was told to just show up at a different time. Good thing Grant wasn't there. Leon, as promised, shot his eyes in my direction and threw a file with answers on his phone. With the bell ringing, Mr. Johnson came in, greeted the group, and handed out the test forms. To my disappointment, Leon's answers didn't fit the test at all. I cast a judgmental glance in his direction, and my friend made a guilty grimace. I had to do it myself. There are 60 marbles in a bowl. Their colors are red, blue, and yellow. 1/3 of the marbles are yellow, and 1/4 of the marbles are blue. How many marbles are in the bowl? Oh, how many red marbles are in the bowl? I thought it said how many marbles are in the bowl. I was going to say. So that'd be, well, 1/3 of that's 20, 1/4 of that's 15, so it should be 25. Oh, 25. What number will be in the place of the question mark? 4, 6, 9, 6, 1, 4, 6, 9? No. Oh, maybe this is supposed to be a 14. I hate questions like this because they always feel like kind of bullshit. Especially because it's a two-digit number. You think 20? Is this supposed to be 46, 19, 14? I don't know where you're getting the number from. Is it like this plus this? Well, one less than. Oh. Oh, I see. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for it. I don't care. I can kind of see it. The space. If they were space, if these were like a little better space, it would help. This decision also doesn't matter whatsoever. What number would be in this row after the 8? Okay. Is this supposed to be starting a new repetition of this? These are squares, so it'd be 64. Yeah. If you add up all the odd numbers in this row, will the sum be even or not? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it should be even. Oh, wait. You know what? Hang on. Go back. Okay, there are spaces between. If you add up all the odd numbers in this row. So I think these are supposed to be spaces. Because these threes are fuck. I guess they're still in the. Oh, wait, no, there's a 1 here, though. I assume this is supposed to be 3, 7, 37, and 39. Yeah, so we'll stick with even. Which number is the smallest? Okay. 0.1. We're in university. what what language is that? That's my guess, but I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying at me. I felt like I wrote an A, although I'll have to think about some. I feel like I wrote an A, although I did have to think about some of the questions. Time was coming to an end, and everybody turned in their work. After the lesson, we had a break until the next class. My friends and I decided to take a little walk in the backyard of the building. While the girls were late at university, Leon and I had already gone to the sunny field. Some of the guys were playing soccer on the field. This test is bullshit. All my found answers didn't fit. I had to randomly jot down answers. Is it really that bad? Didn't seem that hard. Although I'm not sure I got it right myself. Yeah. That would also track. Oh, I wish I could walk to the park instead of all this. I don't feel like going to the rest of my classes. Suddenly, something obscured the sun in front of us. Ah! Oh! Leon didn't notice the obstacle, so he crashed into the chest of Grant, who appeared in front of us. He grabbed his friend by the scruff of the neck and dragged him away. Edwards! Just the man I need. Get over here. Hey, what are you doing? Stay out of this, little man, unless you want to get one too. Maybe you can explain why you're making threatening phone calls at night. What are you talking about, asshole? I don't care about you. Not yet. Yeah, that's a good question. Grant looks like he's in his, like, 30s. Leon shrank back and fell silent, not wanting to get into an altercation. And you! I'm sick of all your pathetic excuses. When will I see my money? But it's mine. Shut up! He slammed his fist on the wall in front of Leon's face with force. You're lucky I'm in a hurry right now. I swear if the answers don't fit, I'll kill that nerd. You stay here until the end of school. Then I'll wait for you in the backyard. Either you bring me my money, or we're gonna have another conversation. And God forbid you don't show up here. You know what's gonna happen to you. Don't forget, Edwards. Here after studying. He shook Leon, then grinned and stalked toward the building's entrance. My crumpled friend came back to me and scratched the back of his head awkwardly. What the hell was that about now? What other money was he talking about? I didn't want it to come out like this in front of you, but there's no point in hiding it now. You see, my family has quite a bit of money. My dad has a real estate business, but that's not the point. A long time ago, his dad killed my dad! Or something. Okay, well, if you're dating Grant, then it looks like, you know, then you're clearly, like, you're taken, and Sarah's taken, so then, you know, that means I can clearly, you know, be interested in whomever else. So there's no problem here then. There's no redhead problem here at all. No conflict among the redheads at all. A long time ago, this overgrown protein man was harassing me about something. As soon as he found out I had money, he started demanding payment for my immunity. Oh, Leon is dating Grant. Okay. I see. Well, ignore everything I just said. At one point, I got sick of it all and just stopped paying him for nothing. So he's pissed off, demanding some debt for me he made up by himself. Can you imagine how crazy this is? Yeah, tough case. What are you gonna do now? Yeah, there was a lot of tension between them. What can I do? I'm gonna have to deal with him. You mean you're gonna walk around with black eyes? Don't write me off. I was in martial arts for a year. At this point, Sarah and Samantha caught up with us. What are you boys gossiping about? We ran into Grant on the way in. He doesn't seem to be in a good mood. He's always in a bad mood. Nothing new. Apparently, he decided to not say much about the conversation. So I decided to not tell other people's secrets. Leon immediately hurried to change the subject. By the way, did you ask him about some call? Yeah, probably a mistake, or he didn't react to it at all. Someone called me last night. Someone new? That's what I thought too. There was a hidden number. And what did he want? Threatening, I take it. I just don't understand what he wanted. His voice was distorted, interference. Probably someone playing a prank. Nothing serious. Threats? Are you sure it's safe? I hope so. Sounds scary, but it could have been any of the students running you through the network. I thought Grant or Erica at first too. But why would they do such a thing and not address it personally? No, it's not them. Grant wouldn't have been smart enough to do it. And Erica, it's not her style. Plus, you two haven't really gotten to know each other yet, I take it. Listen, Slayer, you're quite the hacker. Is there any way you could find out who this number belongs to? Alas, that number is no longer traceable. But you're right, there is something I can do to help. I can install a program that will trace the number for you if a smart guy wants to troll you again. But that can only be done in my house. Oh no, she's inviting me to her house! Well, I don't want to burden you. It's probably an isolated incident. This is how I am. This is about how good I am at reading people's signals. Well, you'll have to come to my house for me to install this program on your phone. Well, I don't want to intrude, so I guess I can't. We chatted about school, everyday life, and my past life in Los Angeles. I didn't have any. I keep right-clicking accidentally. Didn't have any close friends there, so it wasn't too hard for me to move. I'm gonna do a new save. Hello, ma'am. Yes, I would like to overwrite the save. Mrs. Save Point Lady. Time flew by as we already had to go back to university. Leon was stubborn and didn't want to go. He even wanted to skip a couple of classes to go for a longer walk, but we collectively dragged him inside. Classes flew by at breakneck speed again. After the bell rang, Samantha came up to me. Max, can I ask you something? Sure, what's the matter? I'm embarrassed to even talk about such a thing. Anyway, I borrowed a book from the library a long time ago. I should have returned it a long time ago, too. But it got lost, and I just found it yesterday. And now I have to go and get it back. But I'm kind of scared. I realize it's not something horrible like phone threats or something, but could you go to the library with me? It was evident that everything said was given to the girl with difficulty. She stared at the floor, looking at her shoes. But then I remembered Leon, who was supposed to go to the meeting with Grant at some time. Maybe it would be better to get back to him, to go back him up. Well, sorry, Leon, but I mean, you hot girl. I can make a save, yeah. Just overwrite the save I just had. I mean, hot girl. It's Leon's own fault for getting involved in such a venture. Besides, he didn't even ask for my help. Yeah, that's fair. Samantha is different. She came up and asked for it herself, despite her stiffness, and no matter how serious the problem. If this is serious for her, I would be only too happy to help my friend. Sure, I'd love to walk with you to the library. Shall we go now? Yes, we can go now if you don't have anything important to do. Nope, I've got nothing else that I would ever consider doing in this moment. We're good to go. We walked silently through the deserted corridors of the building. At that time, almost all the students had already gone home. What kind of book? Is it fiction or academic? Something about psychology. To be honest, I've never read it to the end. I keep dry cooking. My mouse is too sensitive. When we had its course, everyone was recommended to take it. But it was so easy that the book wasn't even needed. So I completely forgot about it. I take it you don't have any problems with your studies at all. Well, you got that right. I don't have a lot of friends to hang out with, so I did a lot of studying. And then the knowledge itself became easy to digest. I guess you and Slayer are good friends. I wouldn't say I had the wrong voice there. I wouldn't say that, although it's certainly true in the background of others. Sarah is nice and is a nice and easygoing girl, albeit with her own quirks. But she transferred here not too long ago, by the way. She came from some other town. Really? I wouldn't have thought she'd be from out of town. So she's blended in well? That's for sure. What about you? Did you do well in school? How can I put this? Average. I've never studied much, but I haven't completely skipped class either. I'm probably missing a lot right now, though, so I'll have to catch up. Just don't let Leon drag you down to the side of the underachievers. He's a good guy, but he's too casual. He's all about having fun. He believes that the studies are not that important, and money decides everything, and he has a decent amount of it. I'll keep that in mind. If you want, I could help you sometime with your lessons. Well, actually, that would be great. Oh, look, we're here. Oh, right, I've been talking too much. We came to the library door and went inside first. There were long shelves of books and many tables. Several students were sitting here doing their homework. We went to turn ourselves into the librarian, but something happened that I never expected. There was a mini queue of 2 people in front of the librarian, the last of whom was Erica. Samantha apparently noticed the unwanted element as well, and grabbed my arm, pulling me towards the exit. Oh, Max, come on. I'll turn in the book another time, please? The girl whispered, trying in vain to pull me back. But for some reason, Erica didn't scare me at all right now. She probably wouldn't make a scene in the library in front of the adults. Give me your book. I'll turn it in myself. You can stand here, or you can sit at the table. I resolutely took the book from Samantha's hands and determinedly headed toward the line. Samantha remained standing, as frozen. I wondered what had happened between them earlier. When I approached the line, it had shortened and Erica was standing waiting for some book the librarian had gone somewhere. And the librarian had gone somewhere. I had an irresistible urge to sarcasm, for she would notice me sooner or later anyway. I better strike first. So, why are you holding up the line? Well, get wrecked, Erica! Get wrecked! Erica flinched and turned around in surprise. For a moment, I thought I saw something resembling embarrassment flash across her face. But after a second, the familiar disdain returned. Oh, it's you. I thought it was someone interesting. What? Now you're gonna bother me here too? I didn't realize people like you read books. Keep your prejudices to yourself. Erica snorted. She clearly wanted to be naughty. The situation didn't allow it. Phrasing. So, you're a student here now? Did you move here recently? None of your damn business. Glad you're at least not in my group. It's mutual. Why are you so angry? Because of the incident at the store? You can't forgive everything? Are you so vindictive? Yeah, the rumors aren't exactly pleasant, and I had to witness it myself yesterday. Rumors? From who? That bunch of losers you hang out with? God, spare me that. I guess that's your level, though. What happened yesterday? That scared cretin in your group can't even walk straight. How would you like what he did? How would you like what he did? That's where your book seemed to be carried. So that's it, newbie. Take care. Erica took the book. So I was just like, it's just trying to figure out what just happened here. 'Cause the phrasing is kind of, the pacing is a little awkward. She did call me a noob. Rude. Okay, well, whatever. Erica took the book and thanked the librarian. I tried to see what kind of book she had taken, but she was too quick to put it in her purse. Then she smiled enigmatically at me and strode past me. A light, sweet scent of her perfume wafted over me. Pleasant, I had to admit. The way that they described that, I imagine she just walked by and I just went like right up in her. Like as she walked by. That's the way it sounds. Oh, I just inhaled way too hard. Yeah, no, it's not. Writing stuff like this is difficult. I understand. In like getting a good pacing. I've tried writing stuff like this, and I always get way in my own head about it that like I'm doing a terrible job with it, and you know the pacing and everything. I have a game I've been wanting to work on forever, and every time I've tried to write for it, it's been like really. I felt like it's been awful. Yeah, I don't blame her. I kind of don't blame her for hating me, especially if I did the sniff thing. Gave her a big sniff as she walked by. Young man, what is your business? To my embarrassment, I snapped back to reality, away from my thoughts about that stuck-up person. I immediately put the book I've been holding on the table. Here, I wanted the book back. Hey, here, I wanted the book back. What's your name, and when did you get it? I didn't happen to take it. It was a girl named Samantha Moore. She took it a long time ago and forgot to return it on time. I see. Well, honorable. I'll make a note in the log that she returned it. That's it? I can go now? She won't get any penalties for this? Sure, you can go. The book is in good condition. I see no reason for a penalty. Tell your lady that she can borrow books anytime she wants. It's not my... Okay, thank you. The librarian sure was just like, hey, I just saw you take a big whiff of that girl as she walked by. That's not cool, man. It's not cool. We're not looking at grippers. We don't look at feet here. We look at all the other parts except for the feet. I went back to Samantha with the good news. They looked up at me with their eager eyes. We stepped out into the hallway to keep from whispering. Well, you shouldn't have been afraid. Everything went fine. The book was accepted. You won't be penalized. Whew, thank God. Thank you, Max. You're my savior. I owe you one. Oh, come on. You talk like I saved your life. Maybe that's what happened. What about that psycho? I saw you two talking. That's someone I didn't expect to see here. Oh, Erica? Yeah, we had a few words. Thankfully, she decided to not make a scene in the library. and seemed almost adequate. She was borrowing some book, but I couldn't see which one. I see. Well, the way I see it, she's not a stupid girl. She's just ill-mannered. Oh, I completely forgot. What is it? Yeah, I really think everybody's the killer, and then based on our decisions, we're gonna decide who the killer is. Which right now, I think we're making Leon most likely the killer. Chris was supposed to go to the pizza place with me after studying today. He's probably waiting for me. I opened my phone in silent mode. There were indeed 3 missed ones. Chris is your brother, right? Yeah, that's the one. We wanted to celebrate my move at the pizza place. Wow, I love pizza. Well, then I won't keep you any longer. Enjoy your celebration. Thank you so much, Samantha. I'll see you tomorrow. Where did I get this game? Epic Games store is where I got it. I think it was on sale at some point. It was on sale at some point, or I had a coupon, I think, that gave me like 30% off like my purchase. So I think I went through like their catalog, and I saw this and thought it'd be a good streaming game. So I got it like almost a year ago, really, and then I slapped it in here. Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty cheap. It wasn't too expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't much. The girl smiled coyly at me. Goodbye, and disappeared from view as we walked outside. I called Chris, who soon drove his car straight to the entrance. Drove his car straight into the entrance as he crashes through like the door. I got in the front seat and said hello to my brother. So, how's the adult life treating you? Is it as scary as you thought? I don't know that we're adults, really. I'm really thinking we're in high school, but sure, we'll keep saying we're all adults here. You know, it could be worse. I made friends with a few guys. I didn't seem to be that far behind academically. So you're already making new friends. That's my little brother. Are you hungry? Or did you eat something? My stomach rumbled treacherously. I hadn't really eaten anything since this morning. I'm actually starving. And that's great, because we're going to the best pizza place in Sunlight City. My treat. You like pizza, don't you? You're asking. I love it. By the way, do you want to go for a ride? You wrote me that you got your license, but you don't have a car there. The place is in the Navigator, so it'll take you there in no time. Really? Can I? You're not afraid I'll ruin the car? It's pretty cool. I mean, there's our family does have a history of car accidents, so you know, I did have a license, but I'd never driven my own car. Chris made me happy when I got here. Chris really made me happy when I got here. I can't believe I have such an awesome brother, who's definitely not a killer, or going to die. Sit down before I change my mind. We switched places. I carefully started the car and drove. You know that you're the best brother ever? Maybe because I'm your only brother. Chris chuckled. But you can remind me more often. You can go faster if you want. Let's go for a joyride. I pressed the gas pedal and the car sped forward. I've never driven so fast before. Chris opened the windows and fresh air rushed in. Woohoo! There were hardly any cars on the road at all. Small towns have their advantages. All the difficulties and tensions of the past day faded away, filling my thoughts with euphoria and high. Guess life here isn't so bad. I'll make new friends, spend more time with my brother, figure out my future. I stopped at a stoplight. Thank you for everything, bro. I don't know how I can thank you enough for giving me a chance here. You're my only family left, and that means a lot to me. He's like looking right at me. Jeez, Max, are you that hungry? What's with the sudden attack of cuteness? Oh no, my brother's hitting on me! He again joked away, but he quickly grew serious. Of course, I'll help you any way I can. You're my brother. We have to take care of each other. Family comes first. Chris's smile, a red traffic light. A car-free intersection. Tires screeching. An approaching black figure! I had no time to react, though in my brain, those fractions of a second stretched into an endless loop. A huge black Jeep slammed into us at full speed. I told you we have a bad history of car crashes! A clang of metal, shards of broken glass flying before his eyes. It didn't hurt. It's like I wasn't a participant in what was happening, but watching a movie in slow motion. And then I fell into a black, tightening abyss, and it was over. Hundreds of bright lights flashed in front of my face. A distant sound, as if it were on the other end of a telephone wire. Slowly, thoughts and feelings began to return, and we never got our pizza! And of course, the overriding feeling is pain. Maybe we could have saved him if we went to help Leon. Because maybe we would have remembered to go visit him on time. You know, to the pizza place on time, and then we wouldn't have kept him waiting, and we wouldn't have been in the crash. Well, anyways, oh well, oopsie doops. My head was slightly buzzing at first, but as I awakened, it started to straight up split. What does that mean? Am I still alive? With the effort of a student who sat up all night playing computer games, and has to get up in a couple hours for a session. And has to get up for a couple hours for a session on an important subject, I opened my eyes and was immediately blinded. I do, yes. I'm not going to, but I could. Too much white light. I climb back up. I'm assuming it's just that no matter what, he gets hit by the car. I don't think we can stop that. If we could, it would have been a full battery. My consciousness gradually cleared, and the sound became more real and closer. I pulled myself together and opened my eyes again. Hot nurse! I didn't, sorry, I guess I should have put that together from the save screen, but I didn't expect hot nurse here. They did a good job. Man, they made all the women hot. They did a good, they didn't miss on any of them. This time, the light didn't cut into my eyes as much, and there was a girl in a red and white uniform and the same crimson red hair leaning over me. Oh, you're awake at last. How are you feeling? No, that's fine. Well, I mean, as long as they're wearing shoes, we're fine. I don't want to see feet. I don't like feet, but I'm happy to see nice shoes. Before I fully realized what was happening, I looked around. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I never showed off the full model because I just showed the top of it, but I did. You know, there is a whole ass model here. Ta-da! Ta-da! You can see. I got like these like nice little boots here. I got a little bit of heel on there. You know, I just wanted to show that off. I could have made it bigger. Oh well, we'll do that at some other point. But I'll show some like full me. I'll put some images in like the Discord of like the full model. Plus it's not done yet, anyways. So, wait, is my mouth not moving when I talk? Okay, there it goes. My mouth was just like not moving when I was talking there. That was weird. Okay. Anyways, back to this. Back to Hot Nurse. Welcome, Hound. Before I fully realized what was happening, I looked around. Everything was so white. I'm laying in a separate bed at the hospital, all bandaged up like a mummy. I can see the outline of the city in the window in the distance. That would be the nurse. What happened? Accident. Black SUV. Chris. Where's Chris now? I blurted out as my memory mapped out the recent events. The nurse worriedly checked my forehead. Max, calm down, please. I'll explain everything to you, but you need to calm down. I'm as calm as a boa constrictor. Now tell me where my brother is and I'm out of here. Calm as a boa constrictor. I tried to free my arm, but I was too tightly bound and my strength was all but gone. The nurse sighed and shook her head. Yeah, it really seems like I may have gotten isekai'd, honestly. As you may have guessed, I'm a hot nurse. My name is Scarlet Blair, and I'm looking for you. I'm looking after you here. Of course your name is Scarlet Blair. You've been down here for a few days now, even though your vitals have been stable. A few days? Oh crap, how many days have I missed? Chris must be worried. I gotta get out of here! But since you said the vitals are stable, can I get out of here now? Of course, you'll be out of here soon. We just want to make sure you're okay. But then why does she sound so depressed? Wait, how do you know my name? You called me Max. Yes, of course. Your friends called us. They're all worried about you. Worried that you just dropped out of university like that. And they finally got through here. My friends, Leon, Sarah, and Samantha were worried about me. Even though we hadn't known each other that long, they found me, called me, told me the name. Or told the name. Shit, they're really great guys. I sure hope they all live. We didn't get hit hard. The problem was we didn't get hit hard enough, so we only got like slightly isekai'd. We only got we just got sent like a few days forward. We didn't get to change worlds or anything like that. You know, whoever was driving the SUV. See, that's why you needed to be the truck. This was just an SUV, not enough power. Max, I'm sorry, but your brother didn't make it. The car hit you right on his side. Death was instantaneous. When the body was pulled out, it was mangled beyond recognition. Well, I feel like you didn't need to tell me all of that. The ground fell out from underneath my feet. More specifically, the bed. What? Chris is dead? No, it can't be. We just met! I can't lose him again! I'm sorry, Max. You wanted to know the truth, and I wanted to put it off. There's no point in embellishing events. Tell me, what's the last thing you remember before the accident? I tried to recall all the minute events in my memory. I'm driving. Traffic light. We stopped. There was no one in front of it. There were no cars on the street at all. We were talking about something. With my side vision, I noticed a black spot that was getting bigger and coming towards us. It was a big black Jeep that hit us from the side with all its might. I don't remember anything else. Stop. Hit from the side? From the side where Chris was sitting, crushing the passenger seat. Where I was supposed to sit. No. He asked me to drive. He saved my life. Yeah, our brother got isekai. We weren't the ones who did. Tears came to my eyes at the realization of the hopelessness and blind luck that had given me life. It should have been me! Disappointment was quickly supplanted by anger. What kind of car was it? He couldn't have been going that fast by accident. It was a free intersection. That psycho deliberately drove into us. Who brought me here? What happened to that car? Answer me! I was already shouting, and Scarlett's eyes widened in fright and she recoiled. I know, in the corner of my mind, she had nothing to do with it. I'm really sorry, Scarlett. He doesn't mean it. You're hot. I would never yell at you. Yeah, that's what I would assume, is it would be that person, but I mean, we know it couldn't have been Samantha, because we were just with her. We left her to go do this, unless she like cut us off at the pass or something. Unless she like immediately ran out of the school, got in the Jeep, and like floored it. But I just couldn't keep it to myself, and there was no one else but her. She put her hands out in front of me, in front of her as a protective stance. That's why I said you'd be able to leave soon, but not at the moment. Your condition is quite stable, with only minor bruises and scratches. There's someone else who wants to talk to you. This is Police Officer Elizabeth Reynolds. Do you think she's going to be hot? They haven't missed yet on any of the women. The fact is that no other car was found at the scene of the accident. Passers-by noticed only your car crumpled into a cake and called the ambulance and the police. The bastard just left the scene. I don't know if he did it on purpose or by accident, but he got away. So I want you to talk it over with her, and after that, you're free to go if you see fit. My work here is done. I'll leave some pills here on the table for you, just to reduce your headaches. You can take one a day. Physically, you're completely healthy. Well, yeah, of course, it had to have been on purpose. It's more just like, you know, whomst was it? She injected me with some kind of solution through a syringe, and I felt pleasantly energized, this time able to move my arms and legs. So, are you ready to talk, or do you need more time to rest? What a change of emotion she has. Now she's just cheerful and adorable. I'm ready. You can call her. She makes me... You know, if this is what the nurses are like, may a car fly into my apartment right now. I'm on the second floor, so I wasn't actually worried a car was going to do it. And if it did, it honestly would have been kind of funny. But, you know... If this is what happens, I'm gonna go get in a car accident right now. I'm gonna go start running red lights. If this is the kind of nurse you get for it. Anyone want to ride shotgun? Just, you know, so I can perfectly recreate the scenario. Scarlett smiled softly and nodded. She got up from my bunk and got ready to leave. God, she has so much cleavage. And thank you for everything. I respect. I swear I respect women. It's just I can't help but notice. It's literally the center of the screen. Uh, she turned around and smiled at me. You're welcome, darling. It's my job. If you have any more ailments, you come straight to me. I'm sorry we had to meet under these circumstances. After that, she came out. After working on my arms, I was finally able to free myself from the bandages and sit up on my bunk. I felt much more awake after her injection. I found some minor abrasions and bruises on my body, but nothing serious. My head still ached, but the new food for thought partially dulled the pain. What the hell? Who would want me dead? Or Chris? I've only been in this town a couple days, and nobody knows me. What about Chris? Maybe he crossed someone at work? Why did the killer hit me from that direction? Was I supposed to be sitting there? Or had I picked a random side? Could Grant have been crazy enough to do something like that? So many questions, and not one answer. Hot police officer! Oh no! Officer, it was me. You can take me in now. I hit my car from the side. Yeah, well, his Max's brother, you know, cushioned the blow. All his the other car must have like I think Chris like dampened the blow with his swag and like style. It really you know, slowed down the car. She does. You know what she looks like? She looks like a flight attendant. That's not a police officer. That's a flight attendant. Yeah, she looks like she's just started here. Oh, I didn't read what she said at all. Hang on. Meanwhile, a young police officer walked in, a little taller than I was, wearing her usual dark blue uniform, cap on her head, and blonde hair braided into braids. At the entrance, she took off her cap and nodded to me. The girl studied me impartially with stern eyes and introduced herself. Senior Police Officer Elizabeth Reynolds. I'm sorry for your loss, kid. I heard what happened. I'd like to get on the case. Oh yeah, for sure. There's no way you just come out of this like perfectly mostly unharmed. I'm just, it's not likely you come out of this like perfectly unharmed. If it like crunched the Chris to points of like not being able to be like making him unrecognizable, then yeah, I don't think we're coming out of this unharmed. Oh, maybe we had our seatbelts on and he didn't. And what gets me more is that like the other car was able to drive away after it. That's the weirder part. I mean, it was a T-bone, so like it does make sense we'd be a lot better off than Chris, but I imagine something would still happen. Hello, officer. I don't know what to tell you. Did you find anything out about the car that hit us? Alas, no. Our cameras are all broken in that part of town. Actually, I was going to ask you questions, but I take it you don't remember anything. Just what I already told the nurse. There was a big black Jeep. There were no other cars in the neighborhood. So it's not just a coincidence that he was aiming straight at us and just drove off. Please find this killer. Any other cameras in town that might have him on them? Elizabeth unwound her braid thoughtfully and walked across the room. Her braid is not unwound at all. Killer, don't be so hasty. I realize you just lost a brother, but it could have just been a drunk driver who lost control. At like 3 p.m. Or faulty brakes, and then he got scared and drove off without waiting for witnesses. With faulty brakes still. Yeah, that would be... I feel like the person who wrote this didn't think that through. Of if they had faulty brakes, got into the crash, and then drove off with faulty brakes. It's definitely not a drunk driver. Otherwise, how could he drive normally without attracting attention? And if the brakes had failed, wouldn't he have been able... Okay, there we go. Wouldn't he have not... He wouldn't have been able to get far either. And the road was all clear. You could have easily avoided the accident. I'm sure it was just premeditated murder and you just don't want to do your job. I was getting hot again, almost shouting every phrase in her face. I think it's more obvious than anything else. Why can't you just appreciate the facts? Easy, kid. Accident, yes. Crime, yes. But murder? You've been out for days. Don't jump to conclusions on a hothead. I checked cameras in your nearby neighborhoods, but there were no cars matching your description. So what? He just vaporized? I'll continue to look at more distant surveillance cameras as well, and give benchmarks to look at. And if it's murder, we'll get to the bottom of it. Do you know anyone who might have a grudge against you or your brother? Yeah, honestly. No, I don't. There were some unpleasant personalities, but not that unpleasant. Maybe one of Chris's coworkers in the business that was passed down from his father? By the way, what about your father? Could he have any enemies? He died not too long ago. I don't know. Could be. Chris didn't tell me much about him. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. We really haven't talked since we were kids. And Mom? Also dead, which is why I moved away. Basically, all I had left was Chris, and now he was taken away. He was taken away now. You poor thing. I know your situation is unenviable, and you just arrived in town, but try to keep your spirits up. Here you go. Here's my number. If you find out anything new, feel free to call me directly. And if I manage to find something, I'll contact you myself. I'm gonna call her later just to ask if she wants to go to dinner. I took the outstretched business card with her personal number and just slipped it in my pocket. Okay, well, thank you for that. It's just... maybe she's the killer. Can't help but notice... you have no alibi during the time of the accident, and she could have easily wiped the cameras. Yeah, she gave us her personal number. You know, so we can call her and go to dinner or something. I don't know. Okay, well, thank you for that. It's just that it's also weird. It was bad, and now it's getting kind of better. I feel normal, and now it's all slipping back into the abyss. Yeah, he sure is. You can do it, boy. She patted my shoulder encouragingly and smiled. Find people you can count on and stick with them. You're still in Learn, right? Yeah, I just got into university. That's great. It'll give you something to keep your mind occupied. You'll meet someone in a new environment, get your mind off things. I'm sure they'll keep you busy. The officer looked at the time on her smartphone. Alright, kid, I won't keep you or myself. I got some errands to run. The nurse said you're fully physically fit, so you can go straight home. Yeah, he's getting all the action. She pulled on her cap and left the room. I sat motionless for a while, digesting what I had heard. Why am I doing this? What have I done wrong in this life? I don't know how, but I'm gonna try to find out. And to do that, I had to move forward. I jumped to the floor, my legs numb and stiff from days of inactivity, but after a few fumbling steps, I made it to the table and picked up my pills. There was also some stack of papers with Scarlett's signature on it. Apparently, some medical certificates. I sniffed them intently, and as luck would have it, I had a headache, so the first pill I took right away. It took effect almost immediately. When I stretched my legs, I was finally able to straighten up. I wanted to get home as soon as possible, so I left the hospital and went home. I came in completely devastated. The hospital was not far from home, about half an hour's walk away. It was already dark outside. I found frozen convenience foods in the refrigerator. I quickly heated them up and had a snack without much appetite. He made a trade. You know, he's trading his family for hot women. And I guess also Leon. Before I went to bed, I decided to Google the news on the accident. Maybe I could find some clue there. I opened my laptop and searched the news that day. A few sites did cover it. Unidentified man rams passenger car at full speed and flees. Terrible Sunlight City crash claims passenger's life. Driver fights for life in hospital. And similar headlines. Yeah, well, luckily, no time has passed. So, we got tons of time still to solve this case. Almost all have the same photo of our mangled car on them, taken some time later by a witness. The article themselves wrote that people were... I can already yawn. The people are shocked by such a serious accident. Even minor accidents are rare for our small town. I see. Nothing useful for me. I lay back in bed and stared at the ceiling. This Officer Reynolds seemed competent, even though she was skeptical of what I was saying. Also, she was hot. And that's all I needed to know. It's better to take matters into your own hands. And then I felt like I'd been electrocuted. How could I have forgotten that? That midnight call. As he said, if you hang up now, someone you care about will die. A cold chill ran through me. I jumped on the bed. What if it wasn't a prank and the caller and the driver of the Jeep were the same person? Excuse me. So much for that, the evidence. Why didn't I remember this at the hospital? I even have that hidden number in my call history. Shouldn't we call Elizabeth right now? What time do the cops go to bed? Probably late. I jumped out of bed. Remembering where I put her business card, I rummaged in my jacket pockets and pulled out a slip of paper with a number. I twirled it around in my hands, thinking, but was it such important information? It was midnight on the clock. No, it's not midnight on the clock! Remembering where I put her business card, I rummaged, I want to call, I just want to talk with her, frankly. Of course we should call. Even any little thing can help the investigation. And this is not even close to being a little thing. Someone was directly threatening me, following me, switching my voice. I dialed a number on my phone and waited. But at about the 10th dial tone, the phone was picked up and the sleepy voice of the officer was heard. Max, is that you? You know what time it is? Oh, I hope you have a good reason. It's still 2:50. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. There's more than a good reason. I remember the important detail that somehow slipped my mind this afternoon. Whoa, don't talk so fast. Come on, take a breath and calmly explain to me what your call is. I have to yell again. The day before, at night, a man called me from a hidden number. He openly threatened me, and it was something about killing people close to me. Interesting. Who called you? What exactly did he say? Do you still have the number? His number was hidden, and his voice was altered and muffled by some interference. Why do you want to see everybody's feet? No feet. Not that kind of game. I don't remember exactly what he said, but the gist of it was that he had a grudge against me. And he wasn't happy about me coming to town. And also, I think he was spying on me. Spying? What do you mean? He knew I was walking around the room. Maybe he guessed, or maybe he's a goddamn stalker and he knows where I live. Now do you realize that this isn't just speculation? Well, I really want to believe you. But you know how that sounds. Ah! I right-clicked. But it's true! Like a strange coincidence. Even if it's all true, I have facts to work with. And this is just circumstantial evidence, you know. I understand. I shouldn't have called. That's where you're wrong. And even though you woke me up, which I'm not happy about, any information from you will be useful. Who knows? Maybe it'll even help when the time comes. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm glad if I could help in any way. Thank you for the information, and good night. Good night. Hopefully they have like full arts of the characters somewhere. Not for Gripper's sake, just because I want to appreciate all of the characters. Elizabeth hung up the phone. I absently put the phone away and went back to bed. My conscience was now completely clear, and I could relax. I thought about my immediate plans. Alright, I'll get back to studying and hope I don't miss much. What if we just didn't answer that call before? No, I hate Grippers. Not a fan. I appreciate other people. Right click. We'll make another save just because. Oh, gallery? Doesn't help. I should try to distract myself. I should try to distract myself until I came to my senses. I drifted off to sleep with those thoughts. In the dream, Chris and I were sitting at a pizza place, eating a large pepperoni. I keep yawning, and drinking a Coke and laughing. Drinking a Coke. I got this. Sorry, that one distracted me just because I know there's certain parts of, in like I think in like southern Midwest states, in the U.S. Is where people use the word Coke to describe soda. I think around where I'm from, people say pop, mostly. Other places people say soda, but then there's a subsection where people also just say Coke. I'm sure there's backtracking and stuff. Well, actually, no, I don't. I just hold on. I don't think so, because like I just started. I don't know what I could have missed. There's only been like 2 decisions that mattered, maybe 3. We may have just also not. These are just backgrounds too, so we probably just haven't seen these backgrounds yet. There's a lot of images here. This game. I don't know how long this game is either. I'm gonna finish it this month for sure. But we chatted merrily about something, but the words were indistinguishable. As Chris pulled a large piece towards him, he accidentally dripped tomato sauce on his jacket. A small red spot that was slowly spreading and growing in size. I stared at it, and it kept growing bigger and bigger. There it was, halfway down your chest, a huge dripping bloodstain. I looked up at my brother's face in horror, but instead it was a smudged grimace, more like pizza dough or a smudge on an artist's canvas. I groaned in horror, and then screamed as hard as I could, waking up and sitting up in bed and screaming. I almost said shitting in bed. My heart was pounding like crazy. Turning my head, I didn't immediately realize where I was or that it was a dream. After scrolling through a brief summary of recent events in my head, I glanced at my phone. 5 minutes to my alarm. That's great. After having a quick breakfast and getting cleaned up, I went to study. Are we still in school? I thought we dropped out or something. It was unclear when we were talking to the nurse. This time, I navigated the walls of the uni quickly. When I slammed my locker shut, Sarah was already standing in front of me. Her green eyes lit up at the sight of me, and she smiled welcomingly. Oh, Max, hi. I wasn't sure that it was you. I thought I was mistaken. Well, you know, in light of recent events. I didn't expect to see you so soon. Oh my god, are you okay? I was worried. We all were. Hey, Sarah. Or hi, Sarah. It's good, so good to see you. I've been in the hospital for days, and I just woke up yesterday. How awful. I saw that you stopped showing up to class, and then this terrible news. I guessed it was you. Unfortunately, I guessed it was you. And whoever was in the car with you, that was my brother, Chris. I finished. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, but it's a good thing you survived. By the way, I don't want to overshadow your return, but we have another test today. What? Again? It was only a few days ago. I'm shocked. They're tightening up the program. We can't get through the material in time. Well then, we have to hope for luck, I suppose. Not necessarily. This test will be less brutal than the last one. It'll be a full group and they'll sit us in pairs. I have an idea how I can help you if you want to sit next to me. There's still a seat vacant. I'll explain more on the spot. And your desk mate? Still sick. Oddly enough, she's been moping around longer than you've been in a coma. That's good for us right now. Yeah, I guess so. Thanks for the suggestion. You like jazz? Anyway, will you have lunch with me tonight? Will you have lunch with me tonight? We could join our group. Lunch with me tonight is an interesting phrase. Of course, I wouldn't skip this. Good for you. The girl winked at me and disappeared among the crowd of students. I have to get to know her better, especially if she wanted to. We're getting in the weird phrasing department. There was still time to spare before the test itself. Today I arrived even earlier than I should have and was in no hurry to get anywhere. I noticed Samantha sitting on the window sill alone, reading a book. I probably should go say hello to my modest pink-haired friend too. I walked over and sat down next to her. She flinched in surprise when she noticed someone beside her. Oh, Max. Hi. I didn't see you there. Yeah, hi. Sorry to scare you. I just wanted to say hi. What are you reading? Something for the test? No, just reading a book. She cast her eyes downward, tucking the book into her purse. I desperately need some water, so I'm going to take a brief reprieve to go get some. It's really hard reading all this dialogue for so long. And I need more refreshment. Be right back. Okay, my headphones. I need those. Alright, let me actually have a sip of water. Okay. I can read again. She cast her eyes downward, tucking the book into her purse. How do you know about the test? It's coming up pretty soon now. Our Slayer tells me I just met her. I didn't expect to get back to some kind of change right after all those passes. Yeah. Oh, I've done a long time ago. When Zinker and I used to do YouTube stuff, I did Doki Doki Literature Club, and I did that one by myself. But I did that all in like I think I did that in 2 sessions. And I read every line from it still too, so I'm familiar with this concept. Plus, like when just like when Zinker and I used to do YouTube stuff in general, I would talk nonstop for a really long time. So I always try to have water on hand. It's just I use a Brita filter and a glass, and I will burn through a glass really fast, and I don't usually have more glasses on hand. I need to get what I need is like a water cooler right next to my desk that I can just have water on tap right next to me. That'd be the smart thing to do. Oh, speaking of which, how are you? I was worried when you stopped showing up for class. Then Sarah found out about the accident and then told Leon and me. What a nightmare. I'm glad you survived. Yeah, it's not the best time of life, but it can't be helped. Samantha looked away embarrassed. You'll probably sit with her, won't you? I don't know yet. Maybe. There was an awkward silence. Did I say something wrong? Can't lie me. I just wanted to say that if you're worried about taking the test, you can sit down with me too. I've been studying for it and I can help you. Embarrassed, Samantha added. Okay. Thanks for the offer. It wasn't the test I was more concerned about, but the inevitable upsetting of one of the girls. I hated to upset Samantha, but I also told Sarah that I would think about it. Why am I so popular? It's because of the accident? I can't say it's unpleasant, just unexpected. Before the girl left, I decided to offer Samantha something myself. By the way, after lessons, would you like to have lunch together? Sarah and I were... They're spelling Sarah's name differently. Sarah and I were planning to have lunch together. You could join us. It's more fun together. Lunch? With me? She patted her eyes in surprise. Yeah, you, me, Sarah. Maybe we'll bring Leon. He's up for it. Keep things interesting. Or do you already have lunch plans? No plans. I just haven't been invited to lunch yet. Great, I'll go first. I was invited myself, so I'm just passing the baton. I'd love to join you. She smiled, then turned around and ducked back into her book. Now we're talking. Okay. We can gradually move to the right office. The break time is coming to an end. As I was climbing the stairs, someone came at me from behind and almost knocked me down. Leon! Bro, it's really you! I couldn't believe it. I thought you quit studying. Follow my footsteps and go to school for a couple days and that's it. But no, then I found about the whole accident thing. Our Slayer got everyone on edge. I even set up a group chat online to keep everyone informed. And you're as good as new. Not a scratch on you. Hello to you too. You keep bumping into me like that, you're gonna get scratches. I'm the center of attention today. But it's good to see you too. How's the nurse? I called the hospital. She sounded so young. Yeah, there's a nice girl who works there. Scarlett, I think. A little older than us. Then I'm surprised you got out of there so fast. You could have taken a couple of days off. Yeah, there's a circumstance. I'll tell you about it over lunch, if you'll join us. Our place? You got it all worked out, haven't you? Well, if the girls are going to be there, I'm in. Since you've already talked to them, you probably know about the test. I'm out of the running. I'm not helping you with this. Good, I wasn't about to have him. I wasn't about to sit with him. Suddenly, a force grabbed me by the neck and pushed me forward. Leon was also pushed towards me, and our foreheads bumped together painfully. I turned around in anger. Who could it be? Oh no! It's the older man who is actually looks, now that I look at him, he kind of looks smaller than Leon. He looks short. his head is like tinier, which I assume he's supposed to be drawn, you know, maybe further away, but he looks smaller than everybody else. What are you two lovebirds gossiping about? I roughly broke free of his grip and stepped back. None of your damn business. I think it is my business. He crossed his hands over his chest and stood between Leon and me. I tried to sidestep him left-right, but he's shifted in sync with me. Yeah. Yeah, he sure does. He seems like he doesn't quite fit in with like the rest of like the arts here. I think our conversation with Leon is over. He gestured to the classroom. I was about to follow his example and head for the entrance to the office, but Grant blocked my path again and shoved me in the chest. Look, I don't care what happened to you. If you don't want any trouble, I suggest you keep your voice down, or you'll see the past events as flowers. So I don't see you or hear you, you understand? To my rescue, Mr. Johnson himself was hurrying into the classroom, and at the sight of whom Grant tempered his ardor and slipped inside, and with him I. He's a total asshole and hasn't changed a bit. I better not cross paths with him too much. I went in and looked around at all the familiar faces. Grant positioned himself next to Nate, taking up almost the entire area of the desk with his body. A free seat next to Sarah, just like she'd said. She glanced at me, winding a lock of hair around her finger. There's still an open seat with Samantha. She glanced at me, but then looked away, meeting my eyes. In general, there were more empty seats in the classroom, as if a third of them had decided to skip the test. Alright, we'll do another save. We'll do a save here. Okay, so I think for I kind of want to do both and see which option I want to go with. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll start with sitting. We'll start with sitting with Sarah. Slayer, I choose you. After all, I promised her first. I hope Samantha's not too upset about this. I walked over and sat down next to Sarah. I pulled out my notes, or rather the small portion I had written down in my one class. Sarah saw the travesty of an outline and pursed her lips. Not much. Leaning toward me, she said. It is what it is. Not much you can do in the hospital. I smiled and shrugged. Mr. Johnson was talking about something I wasn't really listening to. Then he started handing out test forms. Sarah elbowed me in the side. You better watch this. We'll probably have different options, but I've got some stuff I downloaded before class. She points to the electronic choker around her neck. Once the forms are handed out, I'll punch in yours, and right here on the display on your side will show the correct answer. Show the correct answer choices. Wow, that's quite a system. Like a smartwatch? Yeah, sort of. I hope they don't see us. It's a small screen, so the others shouldn't be able to see it. Okay, it's worth a shot. Thank you for your help. Don't get ahead of yourself. You'll thank me later if all the answers fit. Mr. Johnson came over and handed out 2 assignment slips. I took mine and quickly ran my eyes over the questions. Some I knew myself, some were intuitive, but most of the tasks and terms were new to me. Sarah glanced down at my sheet of paper. The option number wasn't written down anywhere, but she read one of my assignments and activated something on her collar. How does she do it if she can't see anything? After a few minutes, she leaned toward me and spoke in a whisper. Look, I set them up for your questions. The correct answers will pop up on them at half-minute intervals. I'll be doing my own thing for now. If there's anything you don't get to, just poke me, okay? I got it. I'll try to keep up. Ooh. Okay, well now since there's an art for both of them, I definitely want to go through both. And I began to scrutinize her device. She flipped her hair to the other side to give me access to her neck, and immersed herself in reading her tasks. Indeed, answers and numbers began to appear on the small display. I checked logically whether they could be matched and circled them. Sarah sat thoughtfully, leaning it over the form. She took the end of her pencil in her mouth and nibbled on it, running her eyes over the lines. I moved closer to her, as the numbers were too small to see. Our feet touched, but she didn't seem to notice at all. I felt a warmth coming from the girl. I wonder what she's wearing. Some kind of pantyhose? Okay, stop. What am I thinking? I have a test to take! I had already stopped I had already stopped checking the logic of the answers and transferred the option instantly to the form. we touched shoes. We didn't touch grippers. That's not. You gotta wait to touch grippers until marriage. Perhaps because of the time began to stretch somehow. Because of this, the time began to stretch somehow. As if the frame changes not once every 30 seconds, but much longer. I convinced myself that this was the reason I was more considering the girl more than my blank. I probably looked creepy from the outside. I stare at my neighbor's neck with appetite, like some vampire. But everyone was absorbed in their own thoughts, and Mr. Johnson was solving some problem on the chessboard. Sarah tilted her head in my direction, and I inhaled the scent of her hair involuntarily. It was a pleasant shampoo scent, like lemon or something. Although each answer was shown for a long time, the lesson itself flew by in no time. Shortly before the end, I managed to finish my test by circling the answer with a pencil. The last answer with a pencil. Sarah and I finished around the same time. She finished a couple more questions after me, and put away her pencil and worksheet too, exhaling with relief. I moved to my side, as to not embarrass her unnecessarily. She turned to me and smiled. So, did you make it? I set an optimal time delay so you can make it to the end of class, but not too fast. That's great, thank you so much. I owe you one. It's a classy device, by the way. Thanks, I designed it myself. Then I think to upgrade it further and add more features. Oh, IT goddess, I don't doubt your success. But you do it. Keep studying. It's a useful. But you do it. Keep studying. It's a useful subject. It may come in handy. Yeah, sure. I'll be sure to study the material I missed too. I don't want to be. I don't want to always among the. I don't want to be always among the laggards. Good for you. At this time, the class came to an end, and Mr. Johnson went through and collected our forms. Well, I'll see you then. I was about to leave too, but Mr. Johnson called me over. Max, come here for a moment. I made my way to his desk. Had he noticed my cheating? When I glanced in his direction during class, he was studying something on the chessboard, not really supervising the test. Guess I didn't have to even bother with cheating. But a small chill ran down my spine. How's the test? He asked directly. Normal. I answered everything, I think. I tried to answer confidently, but my voice still trailed off. Good. Very good. You know, I don't want to pressure you. And if you have trouble with the test, I'll let you retake it later. But you should still show up to class. Oh, that's right, he doesn't know. My friends discussed my situation among themselves, but they didn't tell him. Oh, I'm sorry, I had an emergency. I was in a car accident. I spent some time in the hospital. For some reason, I decided not to mention my brother. I don't know why Mr. Johnson frowned. I'm sorry to hear that. But here you are, looking quite healthy. Hopefully, things will go smoothly from here on out. I hope so myself. And tell me, Max, how do you feel about chess? Chess? It's okay. I know how to play, but I don't practice it much. Frankly, I used to love this game. I used to play a lot with Chris when I was a kid. Then I simply didn't have a partner. I can't remember the last time I moved pieces. Will you play a game with me? In return, I won't count your absences in the scoring. What do you say? As long as it's only for a short time, I'm fine with it. Satisfied with this answer, the teacher arranged the pieces and slid the board toward me. All I remembered about the game was how the pieces moved, so I didn't think much about the significance of the moves. The set was metal and quite weighty, probably expensive. I wondered why he was so obsessed with them that he even kept them in class. It's a unique game. A unique game. It's useful. It teaches you to think outside the box, to think ahead, see the possibilities where at first glance there is darkness. As if reading my thoughts, Mr. Johnson said cryptically, "Does it help in learning math?" I'm not sure about that, but it definitely pumps your brain, which will be useful to you, not just in one subject, but in all. Of course, he checkmated me pretty quickly. An expected result. He smiled and nodded appreciatively at me. Thanks for the game. It's just that I often don't have anyone to play with. And during class, I saw you looking in my direction, so I thought you might be interested. Oh, you mean you saw? How did you cheat? Of course. He smirked smugly, but he clearly wasn't going to tell me off. Don't apologize. I don't really care. You're looking for a way out, and you found it. Just like I like that. And you made up for it with our play. Henceforth, though, I'm still hoping for your immersion in the material, not your classmates. Just because I'm not looking doesn't mean I can't see. Remember, there's always opportunity. There's opportunity where there's darkness. Mr. Johnson winked at me enigmatically. I didn't even know how to react to his monologue, so I just sat there and absorbed it. Well, I won't burden you and keep you any longer. You can go. If you want to play some more, come back at recess. Okay. Goodbye. I hurried out the door. I hurried out the door. I liked the part, of course, but there was something about him. Dangerous? Intonation? The energy? It's hard to explain. Okay. So now I'm going to save here. And then we're going to load here. Yes, officer. I didn't forget to save. Now we'll sit with Samantha. I wouldn't miss sitting with Samantha. It's a chance to sit with a nice girl. And she said she'd help with the test. I don't think Sarah would be offended. You can't tell if someone's a good person or not, or if they're dangerous, just based on grippers alone. No amount of, and I'm not, and nor am I about to test this theory. I don't think you can do it. I don't have any proof, but I don't think it's doable. I walked over and sat down next to Samantha. I pulled out my notes, or rather the small portion I had written down in my one class. Samantha fixed her hair and smiled faintly. That won't be enough, I guess. I shrugged. Everything I have. It's not fair that I have to take this test with everyone else. Well, that's the rules, you know. But don't worry, I'll help in any way I can. Mr. Johnson was talking about something, but I wasn't really listening. I started handing out test forms. We got a bunch of different options. That's it. It's gone. Don't be too scared, Samantha whispered to me. Solve the first questions you can. I'll do my own, and then I'll look at yours. And then I'll write the correct answers on the sheet under the desk. Oh, thank you. Without you, I'm a dead man. Don't joke about it. As long as the teacher doesn't notice anything. I'll try to not stare too much. Time's running out. I ducked into my test. Surprisingly, I did know some of the questions. It wasn't hard to find the answers to them. Most of them were a bit of a mystery to me. Samantha quickly sorted out her option, circling the correct answers in neat circles. Then she turned her attention to my form, and she put her pens under the desk, writing down the solutions there. Apparently, it was safer that way, so that nothing unnecessary could be seen on the desk. I glanced down. Samantha had put the leaf on the chair right beneath my legs. Oh my goodness! I involuntarily appreciated her tutorial short skirt. Her tutorial short skirt. Yes. Yeah. She'll definitely be a distraction, but I don't mind. So what's on your mind? What's on your mind? Got to think about the midterm? Yeah, I just want to see what that said again. She turned her attention to my form as she put her pens under the desk, writing down solutions there. Apparently, it was safer to do that way, so that nothing unnecessary was in it. I glanced down. She put the leaf on the chair right between my legs. What did she put between my legs? Okay, I assume that's just a bad translation. Maybe she meant between her. I think it must be between her legs or something. I slanted my no. I slanted my gaze under my desk and began to scrutinize what she had written. Samantha didn't seem to notice my gaze as she continued to write out my answers. I began to transfer her decisions to my own form. Her handwriting was very nice and neat, so it was easy to understand without any questions, and everything was going smoothly until the last decisions began to be blocked by her foot. Stop! No feet! Samantha was too engrossed to see it from her vantage point. I called it out quickly. I called it out to her quietly, but she didn't hear. Okay, I decided to not distract my friend and gently move her over. I put my hand on her leg and pulled her toward me. Samantha made no sign of it, obediently spreading her legs wide so I could get a full view of the answers. I hope she doesn't think I'm some kind of perverted maniac. Samantha touched her foot to mine. Did she do that on purpose, or did she just do that? I was sitting almost right next to her, after all. I guess I looked kind of creepy from the outside. Even now and then, I looked between my desk. Every now and then, I looked between my desk mate's legs. But everyone was absorbed in their own thoughts, and Mr. Johnson was solving some problem at the chessboard. I continued to write down correct answers, but my mind was far from math. But we got there just in time. Samantha finished, putting down her pen and exhaling. I finished transcribing her solutions into my form too, and leaned back in my chair. I wasn't sure if just hiding the sheet somewhere on the desk would have been worse. But I'm not one to complain. She suggested it, and it was more than successful. Thanks. We didn't get a fancy art for her. That's kind of like, it's kind of weird, right? I would have expected one since we got one for the other girl, for Sarah. Or Slayer. I whispered, leaning towards Samantha. She smiled back and shifted her legs, pulling the sheets of paper away. And just in time, Mr. Johnson announced the time was up and went to collect the forms. Well done, Samantha. She did it for 2. I thanked her again for her help. I couldn't have done it without you. Nice handwriting, by the way. Thanks. You're welcome. I promised I'd help. The girl gathered her things and left the classroom. I was about to leave when Mr. Johnson called me over. Okay, so just to check, there's nothing like in the gallery. Okay, so she's here, but so I wonder if there was an art for Leon then. If we went to go help him with Grant, maybe that would have gone into one of these. I bet we're missing arts. I bet I missed an art there. Well, I still have that save. I could check it. Oh, you know what? We'll check it. It's not that long, so let's do this. I'm gonna stick with whatever solution gives me arts. So we'll stick with this save here, where we go talk to Sarah. So I'm gonna load this real quick, and then let's just see what happens with Leon. She looked away sadly. Of course, I understand. I won't keep you waiting for anything. I'll go with you any other time, okay? But Samantha ignored my question, quietly gathered herself, and walked out. I hope she wasn't too offended. But seriously, taking a book to the library or actually backing up a friend, I'm gonna go with the real help. Yeah, I know that one was also a half battery, which is why I'm thinking like I'm starting to think that maybe like you get an art. They have like an art for the one that might matter more. So I went behind the building where there were no longer any people at all, and did indeed see Leon and Grant. They were arguing in a heated tone. I only wanted to watch from around the corner, but I carelessly touched the trash can. Both guys turned around at the sound. I had to come out of hiding and approach them. You again! How many times? If you haven't figured it out yet, it's none of your business! I want to be brought as far away from the feed as possible. Max, you shouldn't have. If it concerns my friend, it concerns me. Shut up, Leon. I don't know how it's done here, but you can't owe a man a debt out of money that belongs to him. Shut up! I'm sick of your chatter. I see you two are bonding. But you know what? I'll tell you, rookie. I got friends too. Before I knew it, 2 of the same big guys were sneaking up on us from behind. Probably his badass bunch. Possible escape plans are fading away. Did you fucking think you were gonna come here and get in here and scare me? I'm gonna count your teeth. He stepped forward. What, you gonna count my teeth with your tongue? He stepped forward and tried to. That was a good one. I'm proud of that one. He stepped forward and tried to get me with a swinging punch to the head. But I've been on edge for a while now, so I just stepped back, dodging the blow, and then came in close and punched him sharply in the solar plexus. Yeah, yeah, that really is like the Roblox avatar face. That's a very accurate description. Stunned, the jock jerked backward, but his buddy grabbed me from behind, and Grant gave me a few solid punches to the ribs and then to the cheekbone. The ground shifted out from under my feet, and I sank to the ground. Leon tried to fight the other big man, but he was unsuccessful. As I recovered, I was thrown to the ground and kicked. I was vaguely aware of what was going on when suddenly, there was a high-pitched, loud sound, like some kind of siren squeaking. The attackers put their hands over their ears, shouting curses and not realizing the source of the sound. I looked up and saw Sarah standing next to me. I read her lips rather than her words. Come on, hurry up! Come on, stop lying around! Leon and I got up as fast as we could and ran away together. We ran around the building, across the street to a crowded place, but there was no chase after us. Damn cowards! All they can do is attack in the majority. I knew it couldn't go that clean with them. Well, thanks to Sarah. If it wasn't for her, we'd be chops by now. You're welcome, boys. You're lucky I overheard you guys talking this afternoon. So now I thought I'd check in. Thank you too, Max. I don't know how it would have gone without you. I'd probably the same, honestly. Just checking in to see how you're doing. You can't just let that asshole threaten you for his fantasies. By the way, what was that awful sound? The girl smiled dazzlingly and pointed to her collar. You like it? This is my personal development and pride. Techno Collar 2.0. What you heard is what you might call an amplified ultrasound. I have a slight phobia of dogs, and it scares them away, so I decided to add such a feature. And then I amplified it so it could have a strong effect on people too, for emergencies, just like the one you just had. And you were saved from the sound? Yeah, I have headphones. I see, that's what they're for. Wow, that's a useful device. Now it has saved our lives, if not our health. What's gonna happen now? What do you mean? Well, Grant's obviously not gonna get off our backs that easy now. He's out for blood, and he's gonna ruin our lives any way he can. Let's just be careful and stick together now. For now. The fact he didn't follow us shows he's not so fearless, and we'll deal with problems as they come. Still, be careful, guys. I might not be around next time. The girl smiled broadly and bid us farewell. Oh, I completely forgot. What is it? Chris was supposed to go to the pizza place after studying. He's probably waiting for me. I opened my phone. There were missed ones. Sorry to distract you. I'm just gonna go faster. Oh no, I'm late. Pizza. Won't keep you longer. Go get pizza. See you tomorrow. And pizza. Okay, and then we know what happens. Alright, so then we'll load here. Okay, so we talked with, we decided to go and dine with Sarah. As much as I want to stare at Samantha's legs, we'll instead give Sarah a good sniff and admire her collar and question what she's wearing under her clothes, I guess. He's treated me pretty well so far, though. This was the teacher. The rest of the lessons to the last one. The rest of the lessons to the last one flew by quickly and unnoticed. The last one was physical education. I remembered to bring my uniform, and after changing in the locker room, I found myself in a large gymnasium. Please show the girls in gym uniforms. Whoops, sorry that slipped out. Their physical education teacher was an uncle in his 60s. He announced the program for the coming year, although it was not to be the first class. He also added that there's also a class coming up in a couple of days, and there will be a mini basketball tournament among our group. The winners get automatic good grade for this quarter. Okay, well that's not what I was expecting for like gym uniforms. That's honestly like not really good gym uniforms at all. They're just like regular uniforms, really. Like those are just jorts. And I forget what these kinds of capris is what they're called, I think. But like the jean jacket, that's a weird choice for physical education, though. I appreciate getting to see her midriff, though. And today is free class. We're in university. We're in college, I guess. And today is free class, warming up and preparing for this tournament. We started jogging and different exercises. I missed it. Too much has happened lately, and there was nowhere for the energy to go, so I was grateful for such an energizing activity. After the warm-up, we had jumping over the goat, and a few exercises with the ball for accuracy, trying to throw into the ring from close distances. Toward the end, we were given free time to just practice with the ball. We secluded ourselves with our company and decided to play 2-on-2, but who should we pair up with? Samantha admitted she wasn't very good at this kind of thing. Leon and Sarah, on the other hand, were eager to get started. I couldn't call myself a professional basketball player, but I had to play in physical education class at my school before. Sometimes it was even good. The guy stared at me waiting for our practice match to begin already. Alright, time for some options. I'll probably go through these options, and then like after getting through these, so I'm gonna save over this. Since we did everything there at this point. So I'm gonna go through these options, and then once I like get to a reasonable point after that, I'll probably call it for today, because For now, anyways. I'm gonna do Lethal Company, I think, later for a bit, too. I don't know how much Lethal Company I'll do, but I'll do some. Alright, let's get Leon out of the way, I guess. I decided to pair up with Leon. Boys versus girls. Expectedly, we were outnumbered. That's fair. I'm sure it's getting pretty late there. The boy moved quickly around the field and scored well, but the girls weren't far behind either. Samantha was obviously new to the game, but strangely enough, she was very good at throwing into the ring. Sarah was generally strutting around the field as if she had been waiting for a burst of energy for a long time. In the heat of battle, she made a pass to Samantha, and when she went on the attack, I got in her way, protecting our ring. She miscalculated her speed and flew into me at full throttle. We both fell to the floor. I cracked painfully, but Samantha was even worse. She looked down at me with a startled expression. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" "I'll live, and you're stronger than you look. Just got a little carried away." She rose clumsily, and I followed. Leon whistled. We continued on, even though it was a little while before the end of class. On the overall score, we certainly would have won by a decent margin had we led it. But no one appeared to be upset. Everyone blushed and smiled stupidly at each other when we were told that the lesson was over and we could go to change. Way to go, bro! We beat each other's fists. We beat each other off. So, are we picking up the tournament tomorrow? We can try. We're pretty good at it. What teams will be there? I heard that any teams of 4. We could just all of us play together. Well, there is one small problem. A big one. His name is Grant Wilson. Sarah nodded toward the thug and his cohorts. It'd be our chance to lay siege to him in a fair way. We can try. You're an optimist. I'm in. After deciding on my plans for tomorrow, I headed to the locker room. Okay, I'm sure this is a scenario that'll happen no matter what. So, now let's load this. Pair up with Sarah. I decided to take the Slayer as my partner. Turns out the girl was good not only at computer games, moving swiftly around the free part of the field, and sometimes throwing balls. Only we had no coordination. Everyone tried to play alone, not giving passes. As a result, Leon and Samantha often had the ball. The score was almost even with our slight advantage. Samantha was clearly new to the game, but strangely enough, she was very accurate in the ring. And when she went on the attack, I got in her way, protecting our ring. She miscalculated her speed and flew into me at full throttle. We both fell to the floor. I cracked painfully, but Samantha was even worse. She looked down at me with a startled expression. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" "I'll live, and you're stronger than you look." You just got a little carried away. She rose clumsily, and I followed. Leon whistled. We continued on, even though it was a little while before the end of class. On the overall score, we would have won by a small margin if we let it, but no one appeared to be upset. Everyone blushed and smiled stupidly at each other when we were told we could go change. Thanks for playing, partners. What'd you say? Thanks for playing, partner. We high-fived each other. So, are we picking up the tournament tomorrow? We can try. We'll be there. We can all play. Yeah, okay, it's the same. So I'm gonna load this. I'm gonna sneeze again. Yeah. I did see that there's an achievement tab, yeah. Achieves. Smart boy, why so easy? Get the max score on the test. Loser, first blood. Detective, restrained. University BDSM? Lovable. I'd love to get. I wish I could achieve lovable. You tried. Late last blood, full fry, the flight of the two-faced butterfly, played and won. That's probably for winning basketball. Agreed. Childhood friend, police dramas, the intricacies of teaching, the queen of the university, humble dreamer, playful hacker, rich party boy. Questions, perfectionist. These are probably. Okay, well that's a little concerning. These are probably for like romancing the different characters. I'm concerned that there doesn't appear to be one that really fits the intricacies of teaching. Makes sense for like the teacher, police dramas for the police officer, childhood friend. I don't know who that would fit for. I'm a bit concerned that there doesn't seem to be. I guess Humble Dreamer must be I guess there is one for the girl for romancing her. I don't know why I didn't put that together. I just kind of. There doesn't seem to be anything here for romancing the nurse, which isn't great. Unfortunate. I want to know what University BDSM is. Let's play this. Let's pair up with Samantha. I decided to pair up with Samantha to even the odds. For a beginner, she was quite nimble and surprisingly accurate. Well, the teacher is definitely. I'm pretty sure the teacher is the. I mean, unless there's something special with the teacher, I imagine the teacher's the intricacies of teaching. That's got to be for like romancing him or something, right? She was able to shoot even more than me. We had a tactic where I try to shoot the ball and then pass it to her under the basket, and she shoots it. But of course, by the overall score, we would have lost if we let it. But no one appeared to be upset. Everyone blushed and smiled stupidly at each other when we were told the lesson was over and we could go change. So we're picking up the tournament tomorrow? Wow, there's like nothing said here. So she doesn't run into me here. Hang on, I want to load again. Yeah, load. First off, okay, so this is a half battery. So this does influence something. I want to pair up with Sarah here. Because I feel like having the moment where she runs into me is also a good thing. I want her to fall on top of me. And this seems to be the only way that she does. So do this. I don't know if it's good for her or not, but I'm gonna pick Sarah here for now. Alright, everyone had already changed when we were discussing with our friends' plans for tomorrow. I was about to leave when I heard a familiar voice. There was a loud bang on the locker. I tiptoed over and peered around the row of lockers. Nate sat there with his hands clasped together, Grant hovering over him. He was shaking some kind of sheet of paper in front of his face in a rage. You think I'm stupid? You gave me fake answers. You fucked up my whole test, asshole. That's not fucking cool. Open your mouth. Nate only sobbed quietly, covering his head with his hands. Grant had already punched the poor guy by the looks of it. Before I could do anything, Grant tore the sheet into multiple pieces, threw Nate's head back, and started shoving paper right into his mouth and shoved it through with his hand. Finally, he kicked the guy in the stomach. In tears, he sprawled on the floor, spitting out scraps of paper, and ran towards the exit. Around the corner, he bumped into me and looked up with surprised eyes. You, get out of here! I did as you advised, tried to fight back. Complained to Mr. Johnson, but he ignored it. Then this one made me decide for him, and I confused all the answers for him. Only now it's worse. Nate, get out! I never want to see you again. In tears, the guy ran out of the locker room. I certainly didn't expect such a reaction. I certainly didn't expect him to take my advice like that. He's got his head in the wrong place. Grant watched from a distance, but decided I'd had enough. He grinned smugly and continued to change. I think Grant really is into us. I think he's into everybody. He just like looked at us smugly and then just continued to change. I don't know. It sounds like he's kind of interested. He's just making that Roblox avatar face at us. Talking to himself was like talking to a wall of peas. Talking to him was like talking to a wall of peas. So I hurried into the hallway myself. Ow, ow, ow. Upset the boy. What's she doing here? Erica's mocking voice came from behind me. I see you've been watching me. Are you in love? Is there anything to fall in love with? The girl snorted, but appreciated the teasing. You know, I'll give you some advice. Don't try to help people like that. They can only help themselves. People like that? Are these people different to you? But it turns out I'm one of them too. You said it, not me. Go on, your friends are probably waiting for you. Have a nice lunch. The girl waved her hand and walked past. I guess I'll never understand her. Some of what she said really pained me. My advice has only made Nate feel worse now. I don't know. I mean, don't just stand by, or is that sometimes the right thing to do? Alright, we're in the cafeteria. we're gonna make a save. I'll save over this one because this one doesn't really matter right now. So this will be the newest save. I'll have to remember that. Thanks for joining. Hopefully I can get back to playing this again later this week. Unfortunately, when I do, it will likely be in the evening because I don't have time during the day to play games anymore because I have a job that I have to go to, that they make me do stuff. So, wow, there's like, these are all pages of saves. I can have so many saves here. Oh, there's also auto saves, huh? Yeah. I'm sure I can figure out which is which, even if I don't remember. But I'm gonna try to do a little bit more of this, either this week or I gotta figure out what my schedule is gonna be. I think I'll be available next weekend. I have to get a couch. I bought a couch today. It's gonna get delivered on Saturday next week. So I might have to. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream Saturday next week or if I'll have to be waiting for my couch. But I don't think the equal sign seems to just be this seems to just move. Oh, what? There's more. Oh, there are more. It just keeps going. Oh, there's so many pages. How far does it go? Hold on a second. Oh, shit. Hang on, let me arrange this so I can fast click. Hang on. Nice. Makes sense. It still goes! There's no limit! I don't think there's a limit. Yeah, I have a couch I have to get next Saturday, but I'll have to see what my schedule's like, because I also know I have to go to Boston at some point soon. I'll be around next weekend for sure. I don't know how long this game is either, though, and I'd like to at least finish it in October. So maybe I'll stream something else during the week, and I'll try to continue this on next Saturday, because this feels like a good, like, nice thing. This feels like a nice thing to play like during the day on Saturday. I think that's what I'll do. I'll find something else to play later this week. I gotta talk to Zinger too, and we're trying to figure out. Zinger wants to like record stuff with me again, and or like stream stuff with me. He's not gonna stream himself, at least initially. He wants to mostly focus on putting stuff on YouTube, but he wants to make like a model too, and then we want to do stuff together. So we're gonna try to figure out doing that at some point. I'm trying to push him to figure something out before the end of the month so we can do spooky stuff together, because we have this game that we'd love to do for it. And if we do, then we'll probably just do it like pretty much. Zinger and I hang out almost every night, so like we'll probably just stream every night then, pretty much, if we can do that. But I gotta push him to get his shit together. So. Yeah, I think I'll be good. There's probably enough pages for every line of dialogue at this point. I gotta know, can I go past 1,000? At this point. I'm almost there. If I can go past 1,000, I'm gonna stop there. Cause like, well, for one thing, 1,000 clicks in a very short period of time is just a lot. My wrist is starting to get a little tired. I'm really good at like the button masher Mario Party games. Okay. I think it's infinite. I don't know how to like get to these pages reasonably. Like if I have a save on page 1007, I don't know how I'm supposed to just get there. Let's make a save on page 1007. Cool. Okay, but I can't roll around. There's nothing to roll around to. I had to know. Well, anyways, so I'll see. I'm gonna do Lethal Company in like an hour and a half or so. Actually, a little over, probably almost more like 2 hours right now. From now, I'll play for a little bit tonight. I probably won't play super long just because I already streamed and I got other stuff I want to do. Tomorrow, Minecraft, 3 p.m. EST. We'll continue playing on the server. I might see. So, I wish I had more time because I have the ability to set up my own. I should be able to set up my own servers now, and I'd like to make a server to play some to do some spooky stuff. Oh yeah, being able to save that much is a really nice quality of life thing, especially for visual novels like this. So you can save at every branch basically. You can have saves at every branch, so you can explore every single path with ease, without having to replay through a bunch of story stuff. But I want to do some spooky Minecraft stuff. I don't have anything figured out right now, so tomorrow I'm just gonna do steampunk. I might see if I can set up a server. Yeah, I should be able. So I'm not sure yet. I have to test it. I think the issue before was I was using an Xfinity modem, and that the port forwarding didn't work with it, even though they had options in their app to specifically set up for Minecraft, but I think they just didn't have. I feel like there was some security protocol they had that was just preventing incoming connections for it. I could do it on a local network, but not on any incoming connection. But since I have my own router and modem, I should be able to set up port forwarding now where I can do it on my own. The issue I have is that I'm fine doing it, letting people in who I trust, but I need to make sure, because port forwarding does allow people into your home network. Which means that if I'm gonna do it, I would just need to make sure that I probably wouldn't make it joinable is all, or I'd make it only joinable for you could join, that's fine. I trust that this hasn't been a long play to get into my network, and I don't know what you do from there really, and seize control of my computers and shit. But yeah, I should be able to set that up. I have to when I get back from Boston, I'm gonna have another computer that I can set up to specifically run as a server. Just it can just be running as it can just be running as a server. It doesn't and it can be a dedicated Minecraft server. I should be able to, frankly, I should be able to run a server from the computer I'm on now and still play games and stream and stuff. There's two issues. Well, so there's two issues. One might be that my internet might be a chokehold for that. Because well, actually, I guess I have my laptop too now. I'll have to do. I have a lot of options. I might be able to get it working. There's a few things that could make it not work. If my connection isn't good enough, or my uploads, because I don't have great upload here. I also apparently am not getting the download speeds I'm supposed to, because I did some speed tests yesterday. I'm gonna do another one right this second. I did some speed tests yesterday. I was only getting 100 megs down. I'm supposed to get a gigabit down. So that is kind of shitty. When I first set up my internet, though, I was getting the correct speeds that I was supposed to. I'm still only getting 100 megabits down. I gotta talk to Xfinity and figure out what the fuck their problem is. But anyways, it's something that might work. I'm not sure yet if I can set them up, if I can get it running or not. Minecraft servers are absurdly hard to make work sometimes. So we'll see. But until then, I will be back in a little less than 2 hours. Some Lethal Company. Hope you enjoy the Witch Hammer Mage. Hope you enjoyed the game. Next week I'll play more. Next week Saturday, I should be able to play some more of this game. Depends on when my couch is gonna get delivered. I won't know that until Friday, so they'll be a bit delayed. Yep, that's fair. Like I said, Minecraft tomorrow, can play some of that. Lethal Company tonight. During the week, I'll see if I can find something to do. If I find time to do something, I don't know what my work schedule is going to be like. Hopefully not too crazy busy. Hopefully I get some good time, some good free time. But yeah, we'll figure it out later. Have a good rest of your evening, morning, night, whatever time it is for you. Get good sleep. Don't get spooked. Watch out for spooks. And I hope to see you all some other time. Bye-bye.